Okay. Oh, all right. We've got a decent bit of stuff to go over. Hopefully a good 3-ish hours is all we need, but we'll find out. But yeah. The team. Chaos Cults. I didn't think I was going to play them this season, or this rules arc. But I did really like the way their paint jobs came out. So I figured it was worth at least giving them like a decent run. But that all being said, we got a lot of brain power to kind of go over here, because it's a lot of work. I've played one game with them this whole time. One. I guess as a primer for those who don't know, the core element of this team is it's a horde team that has the potential for power ramp. That's like the biggest thing about them. They ramp in power. Now, it used to be that when they would enhance themselves, they would like fully heal, and it was this whole thing, right? That's gone. They also lowered the total number of cultists on field by 1. So we're at 9 out of 10. We still get all 5 of the leadership models, and you'll have access to 5 of the mutants and 3 torments. As things get enhanced to the next tier, when like the first time a mutant puts its foot on the field, I'm supposed to choose an enhancement out of a list of enhancements. Now, these enhancements these enhancements only can be picked once. So if I pick the plus 1 inch to move enhancement, that is it. I can't be like, all right, this is plus 1 inch to move, and they all get it, and that's how that works. But then I can't be like, but I also want this guy to have it, so I'm going to spend the command point to give this one the plus 1 inch to move. You can't do that. The next time they evolve from this tier, and they Poke-evolve to the big demon tier, when they become this, you get a second enhancement that will only occur when they get to this tier. So, depending on the map you're in, which we're going to have to look over some things, not just in the PDFs, but also in the actual physical rulebook, because that's kind of how that works. But, like, let's say you're playing on Vulcus, you could give the little guys winged, which means they can climb infinitely for like 2 inches. And then all drop is ignored. So when they go leaping off of roofs and stuff, you only really need to measure the horizontal distance unless they're going up over a barricade. Or like one of those little side hangs of stuff. But if they're just straight running from like a rooftop to get down onto someone, you just measure basically straight line from the vantage to the floor. And then normally what I'll do is I will give these guys the you can't change their melee hit chance. Like you can't negate their hit chance. They are always hitting you for their baseline, which is 4. It's not great. But then also they get brutal, so you can only counter them with a crit. That's the norm for like a Vulcus, maybe even Beta Decima style map. But we're going to have to consider what's going to occur in places like Tomb World and the Gallodark. Those are also very important. A general concept with the team is that you can, like I said, spend a command point to provide a chaos mutation to something. So you get, I want to say 6 in total to choose from. So from the mutations, you'll get 2. And then from the command point spending, you could get 4, ostensibly giving you a single torment with every single upgrade, potentially. Now, that's... there's not, like, extreme value in that. It's not like if somebody didn't pull that off, it would be a bad thing. It's okay. Putting that in the forefront of your mind as something you want to do is more of like a flex maneuver than anything else. Statistically speaking, this chunk here, the cultists, which are the only ones that can become the mutants, which then means they're the only ones who can become torments, they're garbage. They're very bad. They're cultists. That's kind of how that works. They are, however, 2GA. So, depending on what you're fighting, and depending on if it's weak enough, you could, in theory, if you think you can kill it with 2 damage, maybe 3 damage, depending. So, sort of a second wave in turn 3. You could activate a cultist, charge a target, and then call it. And then activate another cultist that was nearby to charge the exact same target to have a hit chance of 3. And if you can kill it with that, that's fine. If not, trouble. There is a way to give them accurate 1 if you need it, but like, I'm starting to lean away from that upgrade considering certain things. But cultists are kind of the workhorse of the team. You're supposed to use them more explicitly to like capture points, take things. They're 2 AP. And with 2 AP and 2 GA, these could easily remove point control from specific enemies that are 3 AP. Or yeah, 3 APL. So if it's like a final move in a round and you could take a point from an enemy, you just do it. You send your 2 cultists on, and then that's it. The question is, and I can't remember if this is the case, we'll have to double check, if counteract can happen between a 2GA. I don't think it can, but I'll have to take a look. We'll have to look at the wording and be very specific. From the leadership, the Psychic, probably one of the biggest powerhouses on the team, capable of making someone 1 AP less, or 1 APL less, just as a debuff, and also able to put a little token on the field that just does mortals around it, which is pretty big. It's a pretty big, pretty important play. He used to have this really good shotgun where, based on the distance between you and your opponent, you could do anywhere between like 4 mortals to like 20 mortals. It was up there. He was pretty powerful. His new shotgun's pretty good, but not the greatest. Definitely reined in, but usually you don't want him up the field. You want him on the back line causing problems. These 2, however, do go up the field. They have an enhanced version of 2GA. They are the Blessed Blades. They're able, if they are within, I believe, 6 inches of each other, to activate at the exact same time. This is unique to 2GA in that it's not that one has to complete a full action before the next one can go. You can basically activate charge with both and then swing. That way you can at least have the +1 to hit on these power weapons, which are very good at doing damage. And there is a little bit of a combo, I think, with their equipment. We will double check where I can negate the first hit of damage that I take once per game. The Icon Bearer has potentially one of the best flamethrowers in the game. It hits really hard, but there's a problem. He has an intrinsic problem based on his APL. His icon does give him +1 APL, I believe, for controlling an objective, which is super useful. I mean, it makes him a 3, which that's really good. But because he's 2 APL normally, there's like these weird combos you're not allowed to do with him, right? So it's kind of a short range flamer to my memory. I'll have to double check. The issue is what you really wanted to do with him is turn on his aura that increases the damage he's about to do to a target. I believe the target is supposed to be within, I want to say, 6 inches of him. So he's supposed to get to within 6 inches of an enemy, right? Activate, turn on the bonus damage, and then attack. That way, I think he does like 4-4 or 5-5 even as a flamer. We'll have to look at that. But it's a lot of hits, all hitting on 2s. It is a pretty devastating flamethrower if he can pull it off. But normally what you do with him is you activate his defensive aura, providing all of whatever's near him with some, you know, fun bonuses. And then there's the Demagogue, who they couldn't even deign to try to make decent on her own. She's okay because she is an on-field shot at out-of-activation movement as well as out-of-activation fighting. Specifically, it just lets you do a fight. She just can make someone fight. So in the case of Torments, if you send a Torment in against somebody who can't really handle them and then multi-charge or even charge 1, but within the 9 inches of her, what you can do, so long as it's all above board for distances, is with a Torment, you can kind of like charge a single unit, kill it, and then activate her in a following turn to tell the Torment with 2 command points, or 2 action points, to charge 3 inches into someone else and then fight someone else. So it's pretty strong, considering if you think of how Torments work in completion, they're super fast. They could, in theory, in a single turn, charge 2 units, fight 1, free fight another for a command point, and then when the Demagogue goes, 3-inch charge into a third and fight again. For a 17 wound, actually good damage melee unit, that's not bad. What's up, Kobold? Oh, I forgot to turn on. Hold, please. Oh, no, it's there, combo chat. We're good. The Worlds is going on today. Squad Games is hosting it, so that's pretty cool. I like it. I'm going to try to catch up with it. I think the first game was Vespid versus... or the first game that I saw was Vespid versus the Ravagers, where the Vespid dominated the Ravagers. It was pretty bad. I think it was turn 3, and the Ravagers still scored nothing. But the Vespid got like 1 Ravager down for the cost of 2 of their own units, which, not a good trade. Not a good trade. So all in all, though, this Horde army, which let me separate the enhanced units that you move to. You kind of pokey evolve to. And then this guy's not even allowed in. The core... Hang on. Studio mode. The core squad is, it's sizable, but it only has, in activation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It only has 9 activations, which is about average for the larger size squads. Like, it's kind of crudish, but it's also more like that's Mandrake activation, basically, is 9. For a squad that's much larger than the Mandrakes. Which isn't the worst. The problem becomes... What's up, Francois? The problem becomes timing, because turn 1 you get 2 mutations. So normally you're already down 1 person, like that's already your extra. But if you double mutate, which there's almost no reason not to, you sort of break up one of your 2 GAs going from 9 to 10 activations in turn 1. So it's something you have to think about. Typing random numbers in my chat. So I gotta think. 10 activations. I mean, first turn is very cagey. Second turn is another double activate, or another double... Oh. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, at some point, I feel like you just want to use, like, car paint, right? Like, you just go out and get some car paint, a spray paint can, or, like, one of those big spray containers that has, like, the giant plastic thing you attach to the bottom, like a gun clip. You just... just go. Make it candy-coated. That's probably the way to go with the larger Titans. Just go out and get them... Oh, that'd be the best YouTube video ever. Hey, I finished my Warlord Titan. Let's go get him painted at this local car shop. Oh, pimp my Titan. Let's go. But yeah, so sequencing wise, again, like I'm saying, and the mutation isn't only limited to cultists. Mutation also works on the main group, but it will only heal the main group. It will never change them. It's only like 2d3 or something. It's like a d3 or 2d3 or something plus d3. We'll take a look in a second at the actual physical rules. But turn 1, it's usually 2 of these come out. Turn 2, those 2 get upgraded to 2 of these. On average is how you kind of want to do it. This is where kind of the problem comes in, because those 2 are supposed to kind of go in, and let me pull these. Those 2 are supposed to go in and wreak havoc. All right, do you do the Bob Ross approach with the crisscrosses, Francois? With your big brush. So these 2 are supposed to go in, cause havoc. And if there's any stragglers or low healthers on like a larger squad, you hopefully can get some of these in to finish them off to create more mutants before turn 3. Once turn 3 happens, you get 3 mutations. So even if the 2 torments are dead by turn 3, if you at least have a wave of 3 mutants that have been reassessed, you can have 3 torments come in off of the back of that, which is pretty good, leaving you again with a much smaller number of stuff that matters, because anytime any of this stuff goes up in scale, it becomes almost useless for doing missions. I think it takes 2 AP for any of these guys to do missions, and they can't carry anything, and it's the same with the bigger torments as well. They have to do 2 AP and they can't carry stuff. The big guys also suffer from the you're not allowed to be behind light cover kind of situation. They can't be concealed behind it and to avoid being attacked. They can, I believe, use it. We'll have to double check the wording for the guaranteed saves, but yeah. But then turn 4 is 4 mutations. It's kind of hit or miss whether or not you need to really use that for things other than heals at that point, because even the big guys can heal too. So if you have a bunch of like leftover things where a slight amount of wounds gained on them is beneficial to you, you almost don't have to go below this as a number. My key problem is knowing where to position these units so that I don't waste them early. Like, the leadership squad is a problem to me strategically. I always waste the Blessed Blades too early. And then I feel like I move the Icon Bearer up and I misposition him too often. I wish I didn't. Because I do want to use his like high damage output. But let's take a look at the team word by word and consider what they can do and maybe some nuanced interaction between them, which is the not so fun part of Kill Team for a lot of people, but here we go. Right monitor. The big fade. There we go. Behold. We will start, before we get into the units, So this is the main rule. This is the thing we have to care about most. As I said, turning point 1, it's 2. Turning point 2 is 2. Turning point 3, 3. Turning point 4, 4. And I'm getting a phone call. Hang on. God damn. I can't just, like, not get phone calls at, like, the worst time. All right, back to it. Jesus Christ. So, this is the dissertation for the rules I have to follow. Which, again, I'm not super happy about. But I do need to know them. So this is easy enough. It's 2, 2, 3, 4. That's all you need to know about, like, how many of these you have to think about. Devotees are capable of mutating if they incapacitate. Like, I kind of hate this. It used to be if you damaged an enemy and survived, you could do it. Which I could. It was easy to manipulate. You would run in. You would try to parry everything the enemy had. Try to save one of your hits to actually hit, and then utilize an item that makes it so that you negate a damage, and then boom, you've mutated. Now you have to kill, which devotees I believe are 2-3 damage lines. They attack 4 times. They hit on 4s. It's not great. You have to finish someone off with a devotee to mutate. So that's kind of something you have to factor in. If I send a torment in, do I try to keep people on 1 health? That's very key to how you're supposed to be using torments, and we'll take a look at that in a second. Each operative cannot mutate more than once per turning point. So turning points are the full length of the strat phase and the firefight phase. So if I mutate in the strat phase, I cannot mutate during the firefight phase. That's something I have to keep in mind, although that's not necessarily like a problem, because if I'm gonna, the only thing it stops really is if I need to heal a devotee because I don't want to transform them, but I'd like to heal them, they can then not run at something, kill it, and mutate. That's just not, it's not something you can do. If it's a devotee, it can turn into a mutant. If it's a mutant, it can turn into a torment. Otherwise, you can just do, it's D3 plus 1. We'll have to remember that. D3 plus 1 lost wounds. So minimum 2, maximum 4 of healing. So, like, and usually in my head, if I'm winning and it's like a dominant victory, turn 4 might just be 4 heals, if we're being real. Because you can heal a torment, you can heal your command, you can heal all of it. Because any Chaos Cult member can mutate. Who's doing yard work right now? Jesus Christ. The limit to mutants and torments is based on how many you get out of the box anyway. So, you know, 5 mutants. And then 5 mutants, 3 torments. That's it. You're supposed to swap, ensuring the center is as close as possible. They can be put into control range of an enemy operative. And if the old miniature was the new miniature, must be if possible. The new operative type loses a number of wounds equal to the lost wounds. This is the biggest nerf the Chaos Cults got, and I agree with it. I do agree with it. Although I was kind of hoping that... And I might be reading this wrong. Oh, no, yeah, select 1. It used to be that it would just become the new model, full wounds. So if you had a devotee at 1 wound who happened to hurt someone and survive, now you have a 7 wound mutant. Enjoy. Like, it's a lot of healing. It makes the Necrons feel a little like outdated, if we're being real. But the way it works now is if a devotee's at 1 wound, kills a guy and becomes a mutant, it is now a 1 wound mutant, which is not great. It's kind of crappy. But there was like a middle ground I thought they were going to do, because I think this is what they did prior. It was when you mutate, you gain, like, I want to say it was like D3 plus 1 healing up to the maximum of the unit you swap to. So if you... There's something weird about it. I think you lose the wounds, but then gain the heal of some kind. But now they're just, it's raw. Like, if I'm a 1 wound mutant and I become a torment, I'm a, I want to say an 11 wound torment, which isn't the worst. They still maintain their same rules, which is fine. That's especially good because of the ability to give them mutations before actually changing. Like we said, by the end of the game, you could have a single Torment with every single upgrade on it. It is completely possible. This is something I'm going to have an issue with, and I'm going to need to figure out how to track. I have a huge issue with this. Number of wounds equal. I think I'm supposed to drop everything too. Swap miniatures. Ensuring where you can put it on control. It's supposed to say something about dropping. I think it might say it somewhere else. If it has an item, it has to drop it or something. Exaltation and Pain. You can ignore any changes to the hit stat. This is... You can give this as like a base tier upgrade. So it's like, it's a little weird, but it's more meant for your leadership than anything else. It's to prevent the hit stat reduction. But that's specifically because of being injured. The other one just says you can't. Like, you can't change my stat. Whenever an operative is shooting a friendly Chaos Cult operative that's wounded, I can reroll a defense dice, which is super useful with, you know, my 5-up save that I have. Super great. Friendly Chaos Cult operative melee. Have accurate 1. The hell was all that? Oh yeah, Spadge. They are in fact a blast. I've played them once so far this season. I played them a lot at the end of the last iteration. But we're trying to knock off the dust. Make sure I'm not going to be accidentally using old rules during the new rules, because they are heavily nerfed from what I remember. They were nerfed then too. Like, they got hit pretty hard with the bat, but they were still really good. This I kind of have a problem with. I get that it's better for like your leadership for melee, like specifically the Blessed Blades and stuff. But where I have an issue with this is I think in the FAQ they say if you retain from accurate, you cannot enhance with rend. Because rend is more of an upgrading from crit, or upgrading from a normal to a crit, whereas accurate 2 isn't even up, it's not like establishing it, it's just pre-establishing 1 or 2 as a guarantee. So you can only upgrade this if there's a post-retention ability to upgrade, which there isn't. So even though this seems cool, I think it's mostly cool for like low health teams. Like if I'm playing into the Corsairs, I think there's a lot of teams that are low health. We do have all of them up here because we do need to go over them. Oh, you went for the Aquilans? Nice. Nice. The last tournament I went to, I did Mandrakes and I won first. I did have a tie though against Corsairs, which was really good. It was a really close game. But this time around, we are rocking... My first match is Goremongers, who we're going to go over right away after this. Felgors, that I have a decent grasp on because I was thinking of playing them. Hand of the Archon, which I've looked at only a little bit because barely anyone plays them, even though I think they are decent. Rekka Crew, which that's going to be interesting. Brood Brothers, Corsair Voidscarred, which I know pretty much through and through. And Battleclade, which I have been meaning to look into. Because Battleclade is it's a little off, a little different for what I expect out of how to play these games. So Exaltation and Pain, you can ignore changes to hit. Yeah, we already went over that. So I used, in my attempt, the first game I ever played with these guys was against Canoptic, and it was not good. Canoptic utterly pushed my shit in, because like, if you run a fully souped up Torment into one of those big artillery bugs, and you get it down to like 5 wounds, it gets backed off and is immediately almost back to full. Like, there's problems. There is problems with your team. Like, everything they've ever nerfed for any team is in Canoptic Court right now. Like, they just shoved it all into Canoptic Court and was like, hopefully this works. It is not good. Oh, I am 80% chance going to be taking a clock to this tournament, because I do want us to play fully. I don't want to, because specifically, I mean, this is Chaos Cults. This is between 9 and 10 activations in turn 1. I think it's 10 on average. And then it's just a bunch of thinking. It's so much thinking. So like, if I'm taking too long, I want my opponent to be like, well, you're out of time. And it's like, yep, I didn't do that well. So I'd be fine with it. But yeah, I think I might try to avoid this for the most part, unless I'm fighting like Corsairs or something. Or maybe Goremongers. We need to look at the statting for Goremongers. Whenever determining control of a marker, treat the total APL stat of enemy operatives that contested as one lower. If at least one of those enemy operatives is within 2 inches of a friendly torment or mutant. This could be good. At least to, like, hold in turn 2 and 3. Just to be like, no, you can't have these objectives. It depends on the mission. Last time we played at this tournament, it was same board layout, same mission. That's not going to be the case this time. It's 4 different board layouts, possibly 4 different missions. So we're going to need to think a little bit in broad terms about, like, whether or not this matters. Sickening Aura. Because this could be in a match where, like, let's say turn 2 I don't go first. Or maybe turn 3 I don't go first. And I look at the board state and I realize my opponent with APL where it's at has control of specific objectives. No, Tomb World. Oh, yeah, Tomb World. So, 4 maps. Tomb World, Gallo. So, it's literally Gallo and then Enhanced Gallo with Tomb World. And then we are doing Vulcus and we are doing it Beta Decima, which means I do need to go over the Beta Decima rules because even when Beta Decima was new, I never played on Beta Decima. It was just not a thing because the team I was playing at the time was the Phobos, and because of the wording, I would just field an entire squad that could shoot through the obscuring and not care. Didn't matter to me. Thankfully, they changed the wording, so it's a little better, but eh. But I do need to, in my head, manage the rules, right? Where I'm like, okay, I know Beta Decima now. So we will look at it. And it, as well, with Winged, dude, my first tier mutant thing is going to be Winged on Beta Decima. I'm going to be able to go where the hell I want. Old Beta Decima, no one would have liked with Obscuring. They definitely needed to change it to untargetable. Because with Obscuring, they were like, you could not do things against the Wormblade who had a sniper who could put out like 20 damage in a turn. Like, it was so bad. You could not do stuff. Especially now, because like there's things like, who would it be? It would be the salvagers. Like, you could have a team of heavy weapon specialists on one of the top things, and then have the one guy who just has to go and use 1 AP to make everyone near him not deal with obscuring, and then you just go. It's just so bad. Whenever an enemy operative is within 2 inches, is this the this is the one that I think I need to use like in bulk from turn 2 and beyond against all melee teams. Every single melee team, I'm gonna have to run this. I did this against Canoptic, and I gotta tell you, man, those pillars giving everything on them accurate in melee, there's too much. It's just too much. You should have to spend a command point for at least one of those 2 things that those pillars give you. Like, at least starve them a little bit. I feel like my opponent just had command points. No, yeah. My first run's Goremongers. This is probably going to be on turn 2 and beyond. Specifically, though, Mutants and Torments, which are your front line. I mean, that's how Chaos Cults play. You're playing a football team. You put the big beef on the front line and then just run them in. Faithful Followers. This one, I need to use this a little better. Because this is for shoot or fight. I need to use this a little better. Basically, in formation... Yeah, let me pull this up. In formation. What I don't normally do because of Blast, but this is where the brain needs to start working a little more. If I'm talking to my opponent and he's like, oh yeah, by the way... I have Blast too. I basically need to get to a situation where I can be like, okay, you have Blast too. So these guys are apart, and then I have at least like 1 cultist within 2 of both of them. My leader has like 1 cultist within like just outside of 2. This guy will definitely need like 2 or 3 cultists nearby, because I need, this guy's probably doesn't need any because he's going to be hiding, doing his own thing. I need to be at a point where this is viable, because I still haven't used it, but the problem is, yeah, it does negate blast. Like Blast and Torrent prevents this. So it is for single target, but like I feel like if I'm gonna go up against just a rando like decent shooting army, like what are we going up against? Like let's say I'm going up against Corsair Void Scarred, right? And a Void Scarred runs in to try to kill one of my Blessed Blades, or let's say my Demagogue, or even my Icon Bearer. I just spend a command point, and I'm like, cool, you can kill a cultist. Have fun. Like, enjoy. Because, like, maybe there's something there. Like, this is good. I just don't get to use it. The get down, Mr. President side of things. What's cool is... this does allow me to like have a torment being obnoxious near, like if I could put my Icon Bearer and a torment in mid where the torment's within 3 inches of the Icon Bearer, it's like, all right, have fun. Oh, you're gonna fight my my Icon Bearer? Guess what? you're fighting my torment. This is how this works. So like this, I need to think about this a little bit more. I need to have this in my brain for midfield for positioning. As far as I play, this is the big one, of course, where you can either in the moment enhance something, which probably this is how that's going to happen. Is in the moment I'm going to be like, I need an extra inch of movement, or I'm going to need this thing over here, and then yeah, you just a cursed gift. So on average per turning point, one command point is most likely going to be abhorrent from turn 1 and beyond. Turn 2 and beyond, Sickening Aura is almost a guarantee against melee. And then if you can pocket, you have to pocket. It's not the best because the randomness of this is too much. But if you can pocket a command point for Frenzied Demise, it's awesome. The main thing you want to do, like this team is very command point hungry, which is problematic. Technically, you want to go second most times so you can get more command points per phase, which is really good. But like running a Torment in, unleashing the demon to fight a second time, do you have to kill the first one or no? I don't think you do. Before or after it performs the action during the activation, the operator can perform 2. Yeah. So I just use it and then I get a second fight action. So I could fight, kill, fight, get someone almost dead, die, Frenzied Demise. That's like the main thing. That's the best way to use a Torment. It's 2 command points, which is insanely expensive. But turn 1, I shouldn't really spend command points at all outside of Abhorrent. And then not even then. Because honestly, like what are we working with? Where's my accursed gifts? Yeah, here we are. So Deformed Wings on any map that has vantage points is like, this is what you give your tier 1s. You give them Deformed Wings to just make them obnoxious. Make them be able to go anywhere you want. Like at all, they can just go there. It's awesome. Fleet, I feel like you reserve for a specific upgrade, or if you're in close quarters, like on Tomb World or something, Fleet's probably for the best because it acts similar to Deformed Wings, whereas Deformed Wings makes it so you can climb like 3 stories for 2 inches, which is hilarious to me. This means you can go through a door for free with your like standard movement, or just move really far normally. Chitinous almost feels pointless. I think it's a 4+ save. If your opponent has a lot of Pierce, probably good to avoid this. I don't know. Out of every enemy that I see on this list, we'll have to look at Battleclade, but there's really nothing on this list that isn't like I want to be in melee with you or I have a ton of Pierce. So I'm probably never going to need this. Whenever this operative ends its move during the charge action, you can inflict 1 damage. This is a big one. This is probably going to be upgraded on one of my torments before it charges, because it's hilarious. D3 mortals on a single target. It's my favorite ability on a Lumberghast. The Lumberghast with this is great. You can ignore any changes to the hit stat. This tends, in my opinion, you could do this, or this is such a struggle. Because like I said, this is also a command point. You can just do the command point and just call it a day and not have to use this. Brutal can be a negative, right? Like if the enemy can't block you without a crit, like if you're going into like, let's say a lethal heavy army, this could be really good because you could lure some of those 5+ crits to try to stop them being killed, which that is a good trade-off. Like I might do this on my torments if I go into like, let's say the Corsair Void Scarred. That's probably a good idea. Maybe even the Goremongers if I look at them and I go, wow, that's a lot of lethal. Because again, I've only looked kind of at Goremongers, but we'll see. Enemy operatives cannot assist. It's always good. And first time you strike in that sequence, also inflict 1 damage on other enemy operatives within this operative's control range, or D3 if it's a torment. So for me, a lot of this kind of comes down to, do I want to do initial? Or do I want to do AoE? A lot of the teams we're fighting against are going to be pretty decent for the sheer quantity of like things on the field. There's a mild chance that giving this to a torment is actually really good. Also inflict 1 damage. So it won't hit the thing you're swinging at, but it will hit everyone else. So if I like charge into 3 or 4 people all at once, I can just start doing D3 damage. This could be good. Very positional based. Very, very positional based. I'm not going to get torments until turn 2. So turn 2, I'm going to see if I'm going first or second. That's huge. And then I'm going to determine the actual upgrade enhancement. Because if I'm like, let's say I'm going first and there's a squad of 3 just like chilling in a corner from, I don't know, like Brood Brothers. There's just like 3 guys next to each other and I can get a winged torment to those 3 guys. I'm in. I'm doing it. And then this is probably going to be the upgrade I either pay to give it with a command point, or I just go, I'm going to give them to all of them because I'm expecting to multi-charge everything. This could be good. But in that case, Abhorrent Mutation, on average, will probably need, by the end of the game, I would say only about 2 command points. Which, that's not bad. I mean, you start with 3, right? You use potentially none in turn 1. Potentially. It depends, because you do get the ability to dash some people up and all that. There's a world where there's a chance of you being like, oh, I could easily do something stupid. Which, I mean, that's me all day long. But that's pretty much just being like, let me use Abhorrent on that thing, and then I'll just run in. It's like that kind of situation. Equipment-wise, this is where we need to get a little serious. I think, from my memory of the first game I played, most of the cult equipment is important, but you do want, on average, 1 equipment saved specifically for the heavy wall, because heavy wall is pretty crazy. What's up, Dinblade? Oh yeah, we're brainstorming the 14. It's technically 10 activations in turn 1, despite being 14 models. A lot of GA2, GA2 in air quotes, the new GA. And then the Blessed Blade multi-activation, which is really cool. It's still one of my favorite versions of multi-activation. I think one other army actually has it now, which is cool. But it is pretty neat. Baleful Script, I think this is a guarantee. Once per strategic, change one of your... Oh, no. This was the big brain one. I like this, but this is the big brain one. You can change it, but I don't think this frees it up to be then applied later. Once per battle, change one of your accursed gifts. Wait a sec. In the strategic. Oh yeah, strategic gambit. That'd be wild if you could have the D3 on charge and then switch over to like something crazy. Once you get into melee, that'd be absolutely insane. This one I'm probably gonna stay away from though. There's really not. It's not as useful. Change one of your accursed gifts. Note that if it's an accursed gift an operative has from your abhorrent mutation, firefight ploy, only that operative benefits from this. Oh, so if I choose winged for my mutants, I can then shift from winged to something else for my mutants. Which in theory would change the basic. This is big brain. This is like turn 3. You turn winged off because you're already in people's faces anyway, and then you turn something else on. Like the brutal and always hit, or you shift it. This one's probably the big one though. This is probably going to be every match. Maybe. I could see some close quarters maps where this isn't useful. After revealing this equipment option, roll 1d3, and then those Chaos Cult devotees get to reposition as long as they end within 3. It's not the worst. Not the worst. Ah, delicious, delicious hydration. I'll have to look at some of the maps for Tomb World as well as Gallo, because I don't think they didn't make it so that you can open doors now, right? Like I can't just be like, all right, I'm gonna open this door. That was the old system. So this would probably do almost nothing on some of those maps where your deployment zone is quite literally like up to the wall. Unholy Talisman. I think these are the two that are almost guaranteed. Once per turning point, operative shooting. Reroll die. You can retain one of. So yeah, you can upgrade for any Chaos Cult member a normal save into a crit once per turning point. This is massive. This is huge. Into anyone that isn't heavy on devs from retention of crit. Like if everyone on the enemy team is like, oh yeah, if I crit you, I do like 4 dev and it's like less damage than normal. And it's like, oh, that sucks. I hate that shit. This though is pretty good. Getting rid of a normal damage. You just ignore normal damage inflicted on your operative. But you have to do it before unnatural regen roll. But yeah, once per battle. This was something that was in the old team. I would usually put it on either... Like, I sort of would select one of my cultists to be, like, the commander. The one that's supposed to go in and turn into a mutant in turn 2. So it would run in, parry everything, hit once, and then negate a normal damage. And then just turn into a mutant, which was great. This isn't as good. Honestly, against a lot of the teams I'm looking at. Hand of the Archon, they're still decently strong in melee. This is probably going to be picked universally just to, like, possibly mitigate something at the worst time. But in order to get in on someone and then try to kill them and then, you know, survive enough to turn into a mutant as a devotee, Battleclade, maybe. Brood Brothers, maybe. But that's about it. And then, of course, Universal, which you do need the heavy barricade. There is a world as well where I think, honestly, putting a Torment in a smoke grenade would be hilarious. Like, just throwing a smoke grenade kind of near someone and then just being like, go, my Torment. It's decent, though. All their weird changes. What was Infill and Seek and Destroy? We'll take a look at those cards here. Infill, Seek, and Destroy. Yeah, my magnets. I should probably try to remove the magnets that the cultists have and give them the smaller ones I bought later. Okay, maps we'll need to take a look at in a second. Seek and Destroy. Route. Let me crank down this. So route. Whenever a friendly operative incapacitates an enemy operative, if that friendly operative is within 6 inches of your opponent's drop zone, you score VP. If this is true, that enemy operative has a wound stat of 12 or more, it's 2. This is probably an avoid. I almost feel like the average person playing against the new upcoming stealth suits might want to use this because it sounds like they really want to just stay in their side. But maybe not. Dominate. First time an enemy operative is incapacitated. Friendly operative. Each time a friendly operative incapacitates an enemy operative, that friendly operative gains one of your domination tokens. At the end of the third, fourth turn, you can remove domination tokens from your friendly operatives that aren't incapacitated for each of your move score or VP. This is kind of hard. This is kind of hard. My list should start killing things turn 2. But also, I should be losing things turn 2 as a result. So I highly doubt I would ever want to use Dominate. Last thing I would want is a Torment with like 4 tokens on it to die right away before turn 3. That would suck so much. First time an enemy operative is incapacitated while contesting an objective marker, or the first time a friendly operative performs the clear action. Whichever comes first. This one still gets me sometimes when I read it. An objective marker the active operative controls is cleared for the turning point. An operative cannot perform this action during the first turning point or while control range of an enemy operative. While an enemy operative that contests an objective marker is incapacitated, that objective marker gains one of your swept tokens until the ready step of the next phase. The end of each turning point after the first, if friendly operatives control an objective marker that has one of your swept tokens, you score 1 VP. If this is true and any of those objective markers are also cleared, you score 2 VP. Okay. So you can technically clear all 3 objectives, but it'll only give you 1 point so long as you still control it. It's if somebody died on an objective. Do the swept tokens clear? Oh yeah, until the ready step. I hate this. Internally, I'm like, ugh. Who would ever do sweep and clear? That sounds miserable. And then infiltrate. I think mostly we'll probably lean into infiltrate, I want to say. Before it's removed from the kill zone, place one of your intelligence mission markers within its control range. Friendly operatives can form pickup action marker. This is immediately where I'm like, I don't want to do this as a cult player. Because like I was saying earlier, the mutants and the torments don't really do this. And if that's my front line, that's not good. Like if all I have left on the field by the end of turn 4 is like a torment and a couple mutants, I can't score on this. At the end of each turn, yeah, the timing, the spacing of needing to run up after getting a kill to pick something up. The end of the battle, for each of your intelligence mission markers friendly operatives are carrying, you score 1 VP. I think I tried this. No. No, I don't think I tried this. Plant device. Plant device seems to be one of like the better, because like, is this what I think it is? The first time your friendly operative plants device, an objective marker the active operative controls gains 1 of your device tokens. An operative cannot perform this action during the first turning point while within control range of enemy operative as the objective marker already has. The end of each turning point after the first of your opponent's objective marker has 1 of your device tokens. You score VP. For each other objective marker enemy operatives contest that is 1 of your devices, score VP. This might not be the worst, because if my idea is to still sort of like rush down the enemy location on turn 2, if all I gotta do is throw a 2 GA of cultists onto an objective, on average, I'm probably in that moment going to be able to take control. And then just have someone drop a device on the enemy objective first. It's going to be like a sacrifice play, absolutely. But I've played against a lot of people who've used this into me, and like it works. Like they just generate they generate points after the fact, because like you could technically then leave your opponent's objective marker for them to hold at that point, and you're always scoring. Like you can't not score on this if you're like, all right, take your objective back, and turn 3 you just like leave and go to the other objectives. Then your opponent has to be like, well, I either don't score and then like that's it, or I do score, which means you score. This one I got to keep in mind. It needs to basically be done by turn 3, I think, right? Or can I only do this once per turn? While within control range of an enemy operative, or if that objective marker already has one. In turn 2, I can just put a device on every single objective, most likely, and then just call it a day. Like, because cultists aren't really going to do much of anything else against most of my opponents. Track enemy, though. An enemy operative is being tracked if it's a valid target for a friendly operative within 6 inches of it. Valid target. That's kind of a problem. The friendly operative must have a conceal order, cannot be a valid target for the enemy operative if it's attempting to track, and cannot be within control range of enemy operatives. Yeah, because valid target requires the unit to not be in melee. So I can't, with what I'm thinking of this, I can't charge a torment in or someone in to like hold someone in place and then bring someone within 6 and then track. It's not really how that works. I'm leaning a bit into plant devices kind of universally. Because I can get that done and out of the way turn 2. Potentially. The thing we don't know about I don't know what missions. So, with plant devices, I think this is where the problem comes into play. I do have 2 GA, so in theory, between the 4 APL that I can move per turn, I could, depending, like run over to something and be like, huzzah, and then one of them will spend an action point to do like the mission, and then one of them will spend an action point to do the plant thing. That's probably good. So far I've played, I want to say I've played Orb. And I think, what else did I play? On one inert object marker, the after object controls is no longer inert. The game step, each player secretly selects one objective marker by placing a number of dice in their hands. No, haven't done that. This is a weird one. If both players select the same one, the objective marker is inert during the turning point. If not, the objective marker that neither player selected is inert at the end of each turning point after the first. For each objective marker, friendly operators control. Okay. So you just have to spend two action points to un-inert something. This is designed just to make the middle point inert at all times. Like, the opponent's always going to pick yours. You're always going to pick the opponent's. Or you could pick mid, which would force the opponents to be inert. That's, I guess, the psychic, the like mentality play. Because if your opponent picks their own, and then you pick mid, then yours is inert. That's actually not bad. And then if you pick yours and they pick yours, yours is inert. Okay, mind games. I like it. At the end of the second and third turning point, if friendly operatives have performed more compiled data actions during the turning point than enemy operatives have, you score a VP whenever friendly operative. It's when you get to this type of shit where there's so much action points being put in. What's up, Go For It Painting? Welcome in, welcome in. Maybe, yeah. I still feel like I could lean into plant devices during a mission that requires me to spend action points on stuff. Because I should have at least one turn with enough AP where I can be like, I now have a beacon at every objective, and I've done all the missions. Potentially. I kind of like it a little bit. I'm a little iffy though. If you get into like the realm of close quarters, maybe it's not such a good idea. Close quarters scares me with cults. I know cults used to be really good in close quarters, and the advantage you get in close quarters is that it's very hard for your opponent to be able to stop you from being able to just like get really powerful. Beta, Vulcus. Killzone Tomb World. See, this is where you think of the dashing and the benefits of it for the equipment piece that the cultists get. So if you like start here, a 3-inch dash, I mean, it's really not interesting. You would still mutate stuff. I guess getting up a little bit so that you're at least within door range might be a bit better. Probably put like a barricade here and then dash some people up, but then like what's the point? Because your enemy still has to make it all this way. Close quarters really is that situation where the dash equipment might not be useful. It might be less useful than like, let's say, like smoke grenades or something, potentially. Non-specific Killzone maps. Even here, I mean, because again, it's like turn one, maybe you move 3 inches up, and then like you just move and dash to get to the door anyway. Like what's the value in doing the dash prior when you can just not put terrain here and then just move your normal stuff? It's such a weird concept. I feel like open. Like Beta Decima is probably better for it. Vulcus is probably better for it. Everywhere else I might need to think of either using more barricades or using like smoke grenades or stun grenades or something. Or even frag grenades. Even though frag grenades only hit on 4s. Still, in Gallodark, and Tomb World, I suppose, you're hitting on 4s, critting on 5s. Which isn't the worst. Alright, let's go back to looking at stuff. How's everyone doing, though? We're really trying to pile it on right now. Figure out all the little things. I very much dislike the cult demagogue. I honestly don't know why they didn't give her 3-up to hit. Outside of just the idea that you're always supposed to be kind of like near. Just upgrades to the auto pistols. Yeah. Yeah. I'm guessing they just want her to always be like kind of close to a Torment or something. Operative cannot perform this action while thing. This is another issue. If this wasn't here, this would be Pog. Like, to have someone run in on your demagogue to try to kill it, have your demagogue use the command point for the get down, Mr. President, to then force whatever's near you to have to fight like a cultist or a torment or a mutant or something. And then in her own activation to be like, I'm going to make this thing that's 3 inches away from me charge into whatever's on me and then fight so that I don't have to. That feels good. A 2-inch 3/6 stunning attack hitting on a 4 does not feel good. It just doesn't feel good. Like, why give me a shock stun without a lethal? I'd accept the 4-up if it was also lethal 5 stun. Because it's a 2-inch range. That is so insane. I need to figure out how to turn this off. There we are. I don't know. This is fine. The 9-inch range. It's something I got to pay attention to. She has to kind of play the midfield a little bit. So long as she's within 9. I think visible. Yeah. Visible and 9 is the big thing. I did okay with her into the Canoptic. Like, I managed to do some pretty cool stuff with her because I needed her to flee an area and I had first activation. So what I ended up doing was, like, I had one of two things I could do. I could either... no, yeah, okay. Oh, wait, 9? Yeah. What's the limit on that? Maybe that's what we do. Because if we're thinking of equipment, maybe getting a comms device down might be a good idea. I never think of using comms because I never utilize people who would really get a benefit from comms. That's kind of the issue. It's one of those things where if you just don't utilize it ever, you don't think about it at later points in time. Ladder, heavy barricade. Let me just make sure there's not like a weird limit. Add 3. We're gonna select one friendly operative within 6 would be 9 instead. Note that cannot benefit from your comms. Note that benefits from your opponent's comms device. You can't benefit. Maybe we comms more often than not. Because 12-inch range is a lot in Kill Team. Maybe that's the play. Give her a comms for most of the open maps. Maybe even not open maps. If I pick a room I really want her to hold down with like a bunch of cultists and mutants, that could be good. I don't know if I give her an ammo cache, because that's a 2-inch range for that ammo cache. It's a good one. 3/6 is good damage for range. It's just, man. God damn. Why you gotta do that to me? So yeah, I'm gonna have to pre-assess where she's gonna go. I think we comms. So we have the two things, the increase on normal save to a crit save if I'm fighting into like a general shooty army. Probably avoid that into Goremongers. We're going to be using the, maybe, we'll take a look in a second. We'll be using the negate a normal damage in melee. That's probably going to be used at all times with this army. What other ones? The movement might only be used in open maps like Beta or Vulcus, which would leave 2 points for items, which probably going to end up being the heavy barricade, maybe. I think I could light barricade in. No, heavy barricade still. Comes down to the distances, because heavy barricade can only go within a certain range of your deployment zone. So if there's no value in placing a heavy out there, maybe I go light instead just to put 2 barricades out to help my cultists. And then, yeah, you got an open spot. I don't see why comms device would be such a bad idea at that point. Blessed Blades. We know them. We love them. My favorite thing ever. 2d3 plus 2 if you have both of them in combat with something that's about to fall back. Honestly, this was the big moment when I was fighting Canoptic where I realized I completely screwed up. I overextended with one of my Blessed Blades. And then one of the Canoptic gun robots got him. Like, I put him on a wall. I shouldn't have put him on the wall. It was a dumb idea. I should have let my Torments go first and then move them up later. But if I would have gotten these within range of one of his robots, I could have done good damage to it. And then potentially, because the robot wants to leave combat. That's how that works. The robot wants out of combat. And then if he goes like, I'm falling back, I could go, cool, 2d3 plus 2 damage. It's not bad. Like, it's... these guys, I love these guys. These are, in my opinion, the MVP for the team. They're just the best. They're so fun. Well, with this team, heavy barricades is more about this. It's that specifically. So the issue, though, is because these guys are playing so far up, this is probably useless anyway. Because you want them to be in. So they're going to be on the back line, which makes this useless. So it might end up being regular barricades. It depends. I honestly don't know if I truly... I might need it in close quarters. Because you're always going to have that room that you're contesting, and you do kind of want some terrain in it. I can arc. I wish this wasn't an AP. I wish you could just pick every time you activated him which one you wanted it. I would love that. Because him being 2 APL, like, he needs to be in position for this to matter. He needs to be within 4 inches of an enemy operative for this to matter. So you have to like make a wall of cultists 3 inches in front of him and then put him in. That way, if anything rushes down your cultists, he's within 4. And then when he goes, 1 AP, increase all damage by 1. He's rocking a 5/5 flamethrower. It's so good. It's so good. One of the strongest in the game. It's so good. It's so short range. But it's so good. Like, if you can find a moment against one of like the smaller squishy teams where like this guy's in a good enough position that he could rush up, get like 3 or 4 people in his sight, and then just hit them with the Torrent 2 Saturate 4/4 flamethrower, he is the game maker at that moment. Like, if you're fighting like Casterkin or something, and you just happen to have that moment of like, oh, if I move 6, I can see 2 or 3 of your guys. Oh no. At the very least, most of them are walking away injured. But this sucks. Usually turn 1, I move him into a position kind of like that idea of putting a wall of cultists ahead of you within 3 of you, and then you move up to be just like kind of at the cusp of 3, and then you do this. You just do the normal and crit damage of 4 more, inflicts 1 less, and then you just hope. Because it's normal. It's just damage. It's not even ranged. It's all of it. If something runs in and starts meleeing your cultists, if they do 4 damage with whatever they're hitting them with, it's 3, which will make you hope. Like, fists from a Space Marine is, I think, 3-4. Bolt gun's 3-4. So, in that situation, all you need is a 4 and a 3, you kill a cultist. In this situation, you need 3 hits to kill a cultist, even with, like, a crit. So, like, mathematically, it's decent. You're still going to have, like, an almost dead cultist regardless. But this stacked... This is where the wording's weird. So, normal and critical damage of 4 more inflicts 1 less damage. Whenever an attack dice inflicts damage of 3 or more. Okay, good. So 4 or more becomes 3. And then 3 can become 2 on a 5-up. That's actually not bad. So if you get like a couple mutants, maybe that... If I can... The first 2 mutants you make, if I move them up and put them into cover, and then I put the Iconarch behind him with his defense aura on. That's not bad. Timing wise, when is... Okay, timing wise... When is this? After revealing equipment, roll 1d3 is a strategic gambit. So this is a strategic gambit. And then... This is a strategic gambit. In theory... Let me grab stuff. Let me show you something. We having fun. That's what we doing. In theory, in an open field, kind of the layout you want to do in turn 1. If you're rocking guys. Hopefully you roll a 2 or up. I mean, that's kind of the ideal. It's not always what's going to happen, so you have to kind of keep that in the back of your head. Where is he? Where is he? So in turn 1 with the guys, you would have 2 cultists kind of chill. It would be weird because this basically needs to be set up on your deployment line. This guy could technically be behind here too. And then turn 1 sort of becomes this situation of, if you get 2 for the redeploy stuff, you could just move them up to there. Then go into the next step of strategic. And convert them into... That's not a mutant. Is it? No. And then convert to mutants. It's a little... Honestly, I would rather it be sort of a more back situation where the 3-inch initial move from these guys would put them here, and then maybe this guy's like off behind something. And then in their turn, you kind of reposition, readjust, bring these guys up. And then do the aura, and then you find out, right? Like you figure out whether or not you go first. Maybe the torments appear. I don't know. I don't really like this. This might be more important depending on map if, like, instead of this being a barricade, this is like a heavy wall. Like in Vulcus, if it's just one of those like cross walls that are heavy. Could be a play. Very distance related though. So I'm going to have to make sure wherever a barricade like this goes down, I would need the place these guys would stand in to be within 3. Because it's not wholly within 3. It's just within 3, I believe. Within 4. Yeah, so within 4. It's not bad. You kind of want them to be around 3 because you need the 3 for the get down, Mr. President. It's an interesting idea. Not the greatest, not the worst. It's more of a counteract because that's the good thing about mutants, right? 7 health. If something runs in on you that does 4 damage or more, this will lower it to by 1. So like if you get like hit with a crit of 5, that crit's now a 4, and then every single time you take the damage, you roll the d6 for the reduction. Because this isn't just normal. This is all. Whenever an attack dice inflicts damage, you get the feel no pain. So it's not the best, but it's also not the worst to be able to cut down like a 5 to a 4 to potentially a 3 on 7 wounds. You really screw with people's math. Maybe that's turn 1 for me. Move 2 mutants up to a heavy and then have a barricade within 3 of them to drop the Iconarch for the defensive buff. Worst case scenario, you lose going first into a team that might be a little melee oriented. The melee runs up so that he's within 4 inches of your flamer and in combat with a torment. If he kills the torment, I mean, golf clap. Straight up golf clap. But then he's standing in front of a flamethrower who could easily turn on his, hey, I'm going to do 5 damage to you per thing that you fail. And then that's just brutal. It's weird. That's leaning into big brain territory. It's a good offense defense, but maybe not like absolutely worth it. Still like the Mind Witch. One of my favorite. Everyone saw the new rules, right? For stealth suits. If you're in conceal, can't be targeted outside of 3 inches. You know, that's pretty big. It's pretty crazy. This doesn't care about that. This allows me to just target, put a marker anywhere in the kill zone. So you just place a Malefic. The vortex marker has to be visible to the operative. That makes it a little bit of a struggle. If I can put him on top of something to be like my vantage point guy, probably one of the better ideas. Or on vantage terrain of a terrain feature that's visible to this operative. So, like, this is always weirdly worded to me. If I see the terrain, can I just... So terrain of a... vantage terrain of a terrain feature that's visible to this operative. Whenever I think about this, I think of the Vulcus terrain where you have like the building that's a whole building. So long as I see the building, I can just put it on the 2nd floor vantage or even 3rd floor vantage. It's such a weird idea. But yeah. You always move it at the end of the turn because you're always probably going last. So you'll always see where your opponent is with the clusters. Your Mind Witch can just make a slight movement adjustment and then drop a thing that will inflict a mortal to everyone near it that's an enemy. And then immediately do it again. Because end of the game. Or end of the turn, rather. His damage output potential is incredible. Outside of that, it's valid target to do the subtract 1 APL, which... This is good. It's good. I do like it. It's decent. It's not a stun. I know a lot of people have looked at, I think, the Space Wolves now. Is it the Space Wolf rule that's like stuns don't work because you have the medic? And the medic apparently has infinite range on anti-stun, which is crazy. I thought it would be like a 9-inch range, but no. It's an infinite range. No APL or no stun. You cannot be affected by stun. I think APL, like forced APL changes still works, but is what it is. And then, of course, his shotgun. That's not as good, but still awesome. Because lethal 3, because 0-0 with dev 2 on 5 attacks. On average, maybe like 4 or 6 damage guaranteed. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. These guys suck. 2-3. Like we were saying, frag grenade. If there's no other option on close quarters, frag grenade in their hands is probably just as good, if not better. Because it's the same amount of attacks, but then you get lethal 5 on what, a 3-4? Frag grenades are bulk gun damage, I think. 3-4s? Or is it 2-3? What is a frag grenade? Says the guy who's never used frag grenades. Yet again, just like with the the goats, there is a goat team. I feel I'm going to be fighting goats if I'm on a victory path. We'll see though. I won pretty handily the first tournament, but I feel like to a degree it was because my team and the terrain was like so perfect. It was so interlinked. Like they didn't show us the terrain until after my team was selected. So to be clear, I didn't see the terrain and go, oh, I could kill people with the mandrakes here. That's not what happened. What happened was I chose mandrakes and said, let's see what happens. And then they gave me the terrain that was like, hey, do you want to put all your mandrakes on the 3rd story of something in the middle of the field? It's like, okay. Okay. We'll do that, I guess. Oh, it was so stupid. I was doing it in the 4th game, and one of the guys that was spectating, who saw me do it, I think game 2, was watching me do it game 4, and he was like, he's doing it again. And I leaned back and just went, they can't keep letting him get away with it. Oh my god, man. Okay, so 2-4, not 3-4. So it's a slightly worse bolt gun, but it's still better. And then because it gains lethal 5 at that point, which, yeah, I could see it, especially into the list we're playing. Battleclade, Corsair Voidsguard, probably not the Rekka crew, Brood Brothers, Goremongers maybe even, Felgor, kinda Felgor, Hand of the Archon probably. Not the best, not the worst. Probably better uses though. And then yeah, Torments. So Ceaseless was the choose one, right? Not going crazy. It's Relentless is still the reroll everything. Ceaseless though should be pick one and reroll. Let me use the app the way it's supposed to be used. Ceaseless. Okay. Oh, dude, we have the worst app. Like, it's so bad after seeing the 40k app and then coming over to like the Kill Team app and being like, let me type the word ceaseless in and see what happens. every single unit in the entire game that has Ceaseless in its rules. I'm currently looking at it. Here we go. Kill Team Light rules. Which, I mean, it's kind of cool to be like, hey, who has Relentless in this game? And then you can kind of see all that. But outside of that, it's kind of garbage. It's a little not great. You can reroll any of your attack dice results of one result. Yep. So it's the old thing I thought that the Killsun or the K-Suns were in the old edition that they weren't, but then became. It was weird. So Ceaseless is fine. Again, my issue is if I go accurate 2 on this, then I'm reducing my total attacks to 3 to try to get a crit to then take use of Rending. If there's a world where I can throw a Torment into combat when someone else is in combat, that would probably be the ideal, is to get a 3-up to hit Ceaseless Rending. That would genuinely be like the best moment. Wait a second. Wait a second. Hidden tech? Hidden tech? Whenever friendly operative mutates, select one of the following. If it's a devotee, turn it into a mutant. If it's a mutant, turn it into a torment. You can only do 2 torments per turning point so that you don't just burst someone in the face with 3 torments. That would be crazy. You cannot do more torment operatives whenever friendly operative turns into a new operative. Swap the miniature, ensuring center of the new miniature's base is as close as possible. Where the center of the old miniature's base was, this can put it within range of enemy operatives and its old miniature's new miniature. New operative type loses a number of wounds equal to the last preceding operative type. It's still the same operative. It's already been selected. The operative is simply a new type of operative that new type's miniature and data card rules. I thought they used to drop things they were carrying. I thought they used to drop the things they picked up. I'm not seeing that here anymore. I thought it was on their card that that anything they had picked up they would drop. This operative cannot perform unique actions, must spend 1 additional action point. So these can still pick up, but for the 2. These can't pick up, but it says nothing about them dropping the objective. This operative cannot use any weapons that aren't on its data card or perform the pickup marker, unique action, or mission actions. Whenever your opponent is selecting violent targets. So wait, can you pick something up as a cultist in turn 2, become a mutant in turn 3 to like use whatever move advantage maybe you give that to go somewhere else, and then turn 4 become a torment to make sure no one can kill you, and you just still have this thing on you? That's weird. I could have swore the old rule was like, if you have anything you picked up, you drop it. Okay. Still, picking things up and doing anything with them as not a cultist or a demagogue like commune player, probably not the best option. So this is the team I'm playing. It's pretty big brain. I'm gonna have to make some stuff so that I remember what gifts are out there, whether or not I've been enhancing people, which I don't think we're gonna try. I like my brain. I know I'm gonna be so tired Sunday morning going into this tournament that when I get there, I'm going to like immediately. My brain's gonna go, "Hey man, Get ready to spend 4 command points to try to make 1 torment with every upgrade. It's going to do it. And rather than being the rational, competitive human being I am, where I'm going to go, no, that's a dumb idea. Let's not do that. Instead, I'm going to go, all right, that sounds great. I'm going to be so mad. I'm going to lose for overspending command points. That's what's going to happen. You really can't overspend command points with this army. Like, you can't make command points with this team. You're going to lose. My first matchup. I need to get used to these units. So, main thing I probably need to know. We start here with what looks to be as big brain of a concept as me. It's an 8-person team, so decently less than mine, but, you know, not bad. How many wounds do they have? 10? Not the worst to tear through. Torments can easily kill that. Especially if if he packs in enough on one spot, I might actually early game activate my Mind Witch just to like chuck a bunch of mortals onto like some people. Maybe. We'll see what these do. Each friendly Goremonger operative cannot lose more than 8 wounds per shoot action. Dude, that good news for me. Good news. Good news for my type of game. Good news. I'm not expecting to do this with an auto pistol. It's not happening. Each friendly Goremonger operative has a Gore tank that has 3 levels, full, half, and empty. They start the battle at half. Okay, so they do have a little bit. Whenever a Gore tank increases, it goes up 1 level. Whenever it decreases, it goes down. A Gore tank cannot increase when it's already full or decrease when it's already empty. Friendly Goremonger operative incapacitates an operative within its control range or visible to and within 2 inches. So, so they have to incapacitate an operative to get the benefit to increase, or whenever a friendly Goremonger operative uses a sanguinary. Oh, okay. So, like, if I get hyper lucky in turn 1 and just go like, let me, you know, somehow manage to kill 3 Goremongers next to like a 4th Goremonger, that 4th Goremonger doesn't get to go, I get all their blood. Yeah, I'm going to take a look. Sanguinate, the blood-infused concoction. Goremonger is empowered by this fluid, blah, blah, blah. Each sanguinate rule. When do they... Operative sanguinate rule. Must decrease its core tank. Each sanguinate rule specifies when it can be used. So there can be moments that aren't just when it activates. And it decreases operative's core tank to do so. Cannot use the same sanguinate rule more than once per activation or counteraction. And you cannot use more than 2 sanguinate rules per activation or counteraction. Cannot use Mania and Fury during the same activation. On the same unit or just in general? Each sanguinate rule specifies when it can be used. You must decrease the operative's gore tank to do so. You cannot use the same sanguavite rule more than once per activation or counteraction. You cannot... So, can't use 2 per activation or counteraction. Cannot use more than 2 rules per activation or counteraction. Same or 2. During a friendly. During a friendly. During a friendly. Win a friendly. Win a friendly. Oh, so it is all activation. Okay. So per person, you could technically do 2 things. During a friendly Goremonger's activation or counteraction before you get a heal. It's always nice. Till the start of the operative's next activation, add 1 to its APL stat. It's pretty good. Operative can perform 2 fight actions during that activation. The second one is free. Always solid. When that operative finishes moving during that action, you can inflict D3 damage. Literally, the entirety of the Goremonger rule list so far is everything I have access to as Chaos Cults, but I have to kind of like upgrade the things to get to that point. Not everyone can have it all at once. It's going to be a whole thing. Till the end of that act, yeah, add 1. I also add 1. I can also do D3 damage on one enemy that I charge. I can also fight twice for a command point. I can't do this. APL is out of the question. I can mutate for the D3 plus 1. The end of the action, add 1 to the attack stat. That's not bad. Whenever a friendly Goremonger's operative Gore tank is half, its melee weapons have balanced, full, relentless. That's not bad. That's pretty cool. And this is this all? So these are related to the tank. This is pretty cool. Half, you can reroll. Full, reroll any. That's not bad. Should never use this against me. Probably use this against me. Okay. Whenever a friendly Goremonger operative is fighting or retaliating, the first time your opponent strikes, have the damage. Okay. Rounding up to a minimum of 2. So 2 or 3. The first time I hit would be 2 or 3. If I'm charging most likely into things like Goremongers, I probably would take the D3 on charge as my thing that I'm going to just have. Unless he's really packed in. 8 people? Probably not too packed in. Probably don't need to go the Cleave Strike. But yeah, you would go D3. If I need to, I would probably spend a command point. If the person's packed in enough to make the Torment that's about to charge also get the Cleave benefit. So D3 to the target I'm about to fight. He could have the first, I don't know, crit. Like, he's going to have... Either way, it's down 2. Like, on each side. He would just pick to go down 2. I could potentially... What's their damage looking like? 4, 5, 5, 6. This is the big guy. 3, 4. That's not great. This guy's a pistoler. 4, 5. So 4, 5 is the average. 3, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5 with rending. 1 torment easily annihilates a Goremonger. Potentially, depending on positioning, easily can take on 2 Goremongers. So even if... So I go in, I get the average of 2 on charge for damage, right? 2 on charge for the damage. First hit I do would be 2 from the halving, or 3 if I go with a crit, which takes me to a 5. If I crit twice, he could be dead unless he counters a crit. If I crit 3 times at that point, he's just dead. Like, he can hit me, and then I'm hitting him for 5, and he's dead. So at most, he could hit me for probably 4 or 5 on average. Early game out of 17 health, that's not that bad. I'll take that trade all day. Does he have anyone that... Would he have anyone that, like, hard blocks? Does he have, like, a duelist? We'll have to take a look in a second. But this is good as a strat. Like, if this feels like a fire... This feels like a firefight strat. The fact that it's a strategic ploy strat, really good. Really good. Select 1 friendly Goremonger operative. If that is a conceal order, change it to engage. It can immediately perform a free charge. I like this. This is nice. I mean, worst case scenario, my guy dies, and then I blow him up, and I get a kill. Potentially, because it's D6. It's so spiky. Use this firefight ploy when friendly Goremonger operative is fighting during an activation in which you perform a charge, and roll step until the end of that sequence. That operative's melee weapons have severe. That's not bad. Use this firefight ploy when you would counteract. You can do so very rare. Oh, well, no. 8. They'll counteract into me. But you must change its order and engage. It cannot perform any actions other than charge, shoot, or fight during that counteraction. Oh, okay. So if I charge someone with conceal at the end of a turn, but I have more activations, he can technically force it to continue to fight. That's not bad.
Use the firefight ploy when a friendly Goremonger operative is incapacitated before it's removed from the kill zone. Inflict damage determining by the friendly operative's gore tank. Nice. It's the baby version. Before it's removed, inflict damage determined by the friendly on one enemy operative that friendly. Okay, so control range. I think mine's 2 inches, but his is control range. Which isn't bad. Lacerate flesh. Use this firefight blow on a friendly Goremonger operative with an empty gore tank is activated and counteracts. Increase that operative's gore tank. At the end of that, it can't decrease its gore tank. You cannot use decrease. What? Use this firefight ploy when a friendly Goremonger operative with an empty gore tank is activated or counteracts. Increase the operative's gore tank. At the end of that activation counteraction, decrease it. Oh, okay. And inflict D3 damage on it. Okay. Sort of like the long play, you need a little bit extra. Even if it's going to cause you to take D3 damage. Do you have to inflict the D3 damage right away or after everything? Use this firefight ploy when an operative activates. Increase its gore tank. And then at the end of that activation, decrease it. Oh, if you cannot decrease. Oh. So, okay. So he's given blood. He has to then do stuff where he ends with at least 1 blood. And if he doesn't, he takes... Okay. That's pretty cool. I like that. That's nice. Force battle, you can set up one of your gory totem markers wholly within your territory, more than 2 from other markers. Whenever an enemy operative within 3 inches of your gory totem marker is shooting, retaliating, fighting, your opponent cannot reroll their attack dice. That kind of shuts me down a little bit. I mean, you send a guy with a Relentless in and he's within range. He's just kind of screwed. Yeah, no. Severe and Rending, yeah. Because if you just... Well... Which one was Severe? Was Severe the if you miss, you hit? But then that's the retention. You can't upgrade it there. It's only... There's only... Rending only works if you hit... And then as it gets retained, you convert it. But if you have auto-retained hits, is it... I think it's punishing that allows it to go to crit. Because it just goes, hey, if you... After all your retentions, if you don't have a crit, you can just turn one into a crit. Before the battle, you can set up one of your bloody cadaver markers wholly within your territory and more than 2 inches from other markers. Friendly Goremonger operatives can perform the pickup marker action on that marker. In the ready step of each strategy phase, you can increase the gore tanks of 1 friendly Goremonger. That's not bad. You give this, you just put this next to one of the models you have turn 1 that you need like constant blood with. Shooting friendly operative. So I don't... When an operative is shooting a friend... Yeah, I don't need to care about this. Once per turning point, when a friendly gore... Well, flamethrower. The flamethrower is the only thing they need to worry about. But if they're taking equipment and spending command points to be like, I'm going to counter your flamer, I think I've won at that point. If someone's like that scared of the flamer. Once per turning point, when a friendly Goremonger operative performs a shoot action in your selected ranged weapon, you can use this rule. If you do... Till the end of that action, following melee weapons are treated as ranged weapons with range of 2. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I mean, ranged of 2 is still like not great, but if you're trying to bring down a torment and you don't want the torment to respond, yeah, you go ranged. You go ranged and you mess me up that way. So this guy is 7-inch move. I got to remember that. These guys are basically Aldari. Whenever this operative is climbing up, you can treat vertical distances as 2. Yep, that's basically the thing I give my mutants if it's an open map. Whenever this operative is fighting during an activation, which it dropped from vantage. So this is a guy that there's a mild chance if we're indoors, you don't really use. Like it. You would much rather not use a stalker, I feel like. This is a good statted weapon, but Aspirants are able to be taken like a bit more. I mean, this is the same about. Once during each of this operative's activations, when an operative ends a fight action, if no longer within control range of an enemy operative, you can use this rule. If you do, it can immediately perform a free charge action. Yeah, if we're in close quarters. No to this, and then take an aspirant in its place if that's the case. Whenever, like, what is the case? Is there enough specialists? No, there's not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you get 5 and then 2 aspirants. If you're indoors, you should probably take 3 aspirants instead of 2. Whenever an attack dice would inflict critical damage on this operative, you can choose for that attack dice to inflict normal damage instead. That's not bad. I mean, it's the choice still, because if I'm going to shoot you with a Melta, you probably don't want me to inflict normal damage after hitting you with the dev wounds. Ugh. Once per turning point, unless you want to die. I mean, it's up to you. Once per turning point, if this operative incapacitates an enemy operative with its great chain axe, you gain 1 CP. So this is the one that generates for the team. I mean, it does 5-6. This is probably the one I want to take out very quickly. Like, very quickly. But this is the one I could definitely see being a problem. Because Torment charges, does D3, maybe gets about to a 2. I can't crit him at that point. It's always going to be the 4 damage, which means first hit would be 2. And then he would hit me for 5. Like, I could out-survive it. I would need to guarantee a bunch of hits. Maybe accurate 2 in melee could be useful into this team, just because of the reductions. I think in the game of passing, if I know I'm going to go into melee, and the person I'm playing against declares the ploy, have the first damage is in play, I think that's when I then go, okay, I have to, because I am going into combat, spend on accurate 2, because there's no reason for me not to spend on accurate 2, because I need to try to maximize my damage overall. But if they're not going to do it, which would be psychotic, then I could probably avoid accurate 2. Just to try to maximize rending. Whenever this operative incapacitates an enemy operative from more than 2 inches away before the enemy operative is... Although it is still 4 up to hit. The trick with it comes down to timing. Because if I can run something in before I then run in my Torment, that's a good idea. But it just doesn't happen that often. The Inciter has a lot of rules. He's got a little dissertation here. He is a pistol user. This isn't bad. It is 8 inches. Ceaseless Dev 1 rending. It's not bad. I mean, I don't see why he wouldn't take this into me. I mean, it's either that or an aspirant. What does he do? Perform a free dash and a free shoot for 1 AP. You can only select dual auto pistols. Okay. The focused. For the shoot, this operative cannot perform this action while it has a conceal order. Whenever this operative incapacitates an enemy operative from more than 2 inches away before the enemy operative is removed from the kill zone, you can increase the gore tank of 1 friendly Goremonger operative within 8 inches of that enemy operative. Whenever this operative inflicts damage on enemy operative with either profile of his dual pistols but doesn't incapacitate it, that enemy operative gains 1 of your bleeding tokens. During a friendly Goremonger operative's activation or counteraction before or after it performs an action, if it's within 8 inches of an enemy operative that is 1 of your bleeding tokens, you can remove that token and oh, so it just builds blood. Yeah, I don't see why you don't take this guy. He's not bad. Even into me, like, it's not a lot of damage into, like, torments, and mutants will probably be okay against it, but, like, still, it's not bad. Stun, drag, prey. This is the fun one. This is the one where you get to pull people. This is the whole reason why when they brought up with the Chaos Raptors for the new kill team, that team gets to pick people up and move them places. That's why I'm like, ooh, I get to readjust? Hell yeah. Whenever an operative is shooting with its weapon at the start of the resolve attack dice step before inflicting damage, You can move the target up to X. X is your total number of successful unblocked attack dice multiplied by 2. Target must be moved to a location that can be placed as close as possible to this operative. The move must be done in one or more straight line increments, and increments are always rounded up to the nearest inch. Whenever the target is dropping during that move, ignore the vertical distance. So dropping is ignored, but climbing doesn't look like it's ignored. So like barricades would slow this down. I think. The move must be done in one or more straight line increments. Always rounded up to the nearest inch. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the barricades count. Whenever this operative is shooting this weapon in the resolve attack dice step after resolving drag weapon rule, you can discard any of your successful unblocked attack dice. In other words, you can choose not to inflict damage with any number of them. Okay. Feels big brain. It does definitely feel big brain. Because it's kind of like you want someone else to finish it. Which might be a little bit more about the enemy being like expended and not ready. So like Torment runs in, gets a kill. This guy pulls it somewhere where it doesn't want to be. And then that's it. Goremonger, Bloodtaker. Whenever this operative is using this weapon the first time you inflict damage on an operative with its control range during that sequence, you can increase this operative's gore tank. Note this is cumulative with normal rolls for increase. Decreases operative's gore tank. Instead of using a Sangvate rule, you can increase the gore tank of 1. Oh, he's kind of like, sort of like a healer, but not. He's a supporty. That's pretty cool. Once during each operative's activations when this operative ends a fight action, if it's... Yeah, so this is the one that gets to charge after it fights and gets a kill. The charge is 2 inches. It's not the best. It's a nice big old leader. Saturate, range 8. He's hitting you with that icon of corn. 4/4. Ooh. If this had Torrent, it would be the same exact as my flamethrower. That's pretty cool. Although my flamethrower is range 6. It's a little bit of a trade-off. And I think I have one more attack than him. Not bad, though. Once during each of this operative's activations, before or after it performs an action, if its gore tank is empty, you can increase. So it just gets blood. Cool. Once per battle, when an attack dice inflicts normal damage on this operative, you can ignore. There's the Justice Scratch. I was wondering where it was. So this isn't going to be the easiest. I do need to kind of protect my cultists a little bit for at least like 3 turns. I need a good chunk of them. I do think playing a bit in the vein of making sure my cultists are close enough to my leadership that I can just do the get down, Mr. President. I might be able to lure some stuff out. This might be a fun fight. Like, this might be a good one. No, yeah. Just a scratch being crits and normals. It's a bit much. It's a bit much. So you kind of get around it still with, like, dev wounds on crit, but, like, it's not enough. Yeah, this would be a good fight. Like, when my Mandrakes fought the Corsairs, I tied. That was a dead-on tie at the end of the game. All 4 rounds played. It was a great game. I think this might be the tie. This might be a tie for me. Potentially. If some things go wrong and not enough goes right, it'll be a tie. 8 people, AP2, capable of going to 3 during their activations. Depending on the map, I do think that I try to run the plant beacons mission. The one where I can just put a beacon on all 3 objectives and then just be done with it for the rest of the game. Because you don't have to keep planning, right? Like, you just do it the one time and you're good. They don't fade. You can do more than 1 per turn. You can technically get every single objective set for the side mission, and then that's it. Like, you can just go do whatever the hell else you need to do. Plant devices. 1 objective marker. The active operative controls gains 1 of your devices. First time a friendly operative performs plant device action. Cannot perform this action during the first turning point while within control range of an enemy operative, or if that objective marker already has a device. Yeah, like you just put it. If I can put a device in turn 1 on every objective, or turn 2 on every objective, and then just stop caring and just go do other things, regardless of whether he tables me or if the fights are just like brutal and it's neck and neck. At that point, my AP is entirely freed up to just do whatever the hell it needs to do. It depends on the map, though. Close quarters, I might have to avoid spending more AP. Might have to think of something else. Could be a good fight, though. Brood Brothers. This is the one that's a little weird. Brood Brothers, locally, or when I say locally, I mean like US. You don't really hear much about them, but there's like scenes in, I want to say like South America. There's places, I think like Spain even, where I keep hearing about Brood Brothers being very brutal. Yeah, there's a Justice Scratch. Decent weaponry. They have a decent number of units. They're able to like force actions to be used even if they die. Like they're brutal, man. They get resolve normal success, inflict 1 damage. So like they just do damage extra. Charge while concealed. Big explosives. 4/6. Freaking range 3, blast 2. Good sniper. Like a decent sniper. Nah, it's a mid sniper. The ones that can only do the silent for a single shot tend to be kind of mid. Yeah, the GA is their troopers, which they don't normally take a lot of, because there's nothing else. It's just GA. There's 0 other benefits to doing that. Normal damage of 3, so just built in, feel no pain without the need to roll. You could have one of these guys near one of your better units for the Brood Guard ability. Considering the people that are going to be there, I almost don't expect them to have one of these. Like, I don't expect them to have this. It'd be cool if they did. Because this is hilarious. The fact that this thing has 4 APL and can go, stop, and then reactivate if it still has AP just left on, like, the board. That's awesome. This thing is crazy. Our friendly Brood Brother operative shooting against, fighting against enemy operative after resolving. If it isn't incapacitated, he gets a crossfire whenever friendly is fighting as well. Alright. Operative shooting against, fighting against, retaliating against an enemy operative that has any of your crossfire tokens. Remove any of those tokens. Oh, so it's gain then lose. It's not like grudge tokens. And it's only for rerolls. It's okay. It's okay. Climbing potential. Man, yeah, they are tricky. No. Even when they released, I don't think they got the termination box. They might have. Which one was this? Yeah, I mean, you have to fight. The Retaliate gets the, It's just Crossfire I always thought more like, for the shooting function, which I think Wormblade was mostly shooting, not melee. For the ploy they have, that was kind of like Crossfire. It was if something's shooting someone that's already been shot at, you get like whatever bonus. Like accurate 1 or something. Or a reroll. It's always good when one of your firefight ploys like needs the little like, by the way, here's the Jesus Christ. Cult knives, of course. They get the reposition thing I get. They get the cult talisman I get. Oh. It'll be interesting. It'll probably feel, considering what they are, considering what they have. Yeah. It'll feel like a slightly smaller, or is it about the same size? Scroll. Load. Please, PDF. Please. Please just load. 1, 3, and 9. So 9. Troopers. 10, 11, 12, 13. Deathcore is more than that, right? 10, 11, 12. Wait, I'm more than that. I'm 14. I have one more person than this. I think. Yeah. Holy crap. Okay. Yeah, it's just going to feel like Deathcore with, like, tricks instead of straightforward running at things. We know this. We know the Void Scarred. We know the Void Scarred. I think it's the same person, too, which isn't great for, like, unless he has options. My Void Scarred consists of everything. All of it. Until, I guess, after this weekend, when they're going to be no longer tournament viable. But they have everything. So when it comes down to playing and I'm like, oh, what do I want to go? I can go power weapon. I can even go rifle. Rifle's not a bad play. It's not the worst. I can go cannon. I can go wraith cannon. I can do blaster, shredder. I got all of it. I got like 4 different leaders. I think I got like 3 maybe. So the person that I'm playing against is most likely going to be rocking the wraith cannon, which that's decent into the torments. It's pretty good if I give them access to the torment to shoot. Originally what I did was they put this heavy gunner on top of they put him on top of a vantage point, and then the mandrake that can place smoke anywhere that it can see, I just tossed the smoke on top of him. So I was like, yeah, you can shoot if you want. That's fine. You can shoot. But we know them. We know them. We've experienced them. They're fine. Battleclade. With the much cooler little green line for cropping. To my understanding, the way this works is there's kind of like 2 leaders. Although one of them is like the leader. And then these guys are kind of like mid to garbage, but these make them do cool stuff. Operative is activated. You can transfer power. If you do, subtract 1 from its APL. After the activation, you can network counteract with one of your friendly... Whoa. After that activation, you can network counteract with one other friendly Battleclade Servitor operative before your opponent activates. Whenever you network counteract with a friendly operative, first select its order. It can then perform 1 AP action for free, but cannot move. Once it's done so, your opponent then activates as normal. So it's like a pseudo 2GA. It doesn't require range. Oh my god, I'm gonna hate playing this. So like one guy on one side of the map that's a servitor can move and then transfer an APL. We'll have to see what other things that can happen with APL. And then once it's done that, the thing you just pick like another servitor. So like this, is it choosing to have it activate, or is it just making it go and it can still activate later? After that activation, you can network counteract. They call it a counteract with one other friendly Battleclade Servitor operative before its opponents activate. When you network counteract with a friendly operative, first select its order. It can perform 1 AP. It's calling it a network counteract, which an operative cannot transfer power or network counteract if it has an APL stat of less than 2. Network counteract is a counteraction. Okay, but the operative doesn't need to be expended with an engage order to do it. That means if they're ready when they network counteract, they can still be... Oh, okay. But so it is a counteract. You can only counteract once per model. So this is you choosing to use a counteract before counteraction. Oh my god, this team. I like this team. This team's weird. Whenever a friendly Battleclade Servitor operative is within 6 inches of a friendly Battleclade auto proxy or Battleclade Servitor, friendly Servitor operative's weapon. So accurate 1. This is sort of that aura from the leaders into the Battleclade. That's not bad. So equipment, the operative's distance is being determined from the most control. Wait, is being determined from must control that marker. Okay. Okay. Once per action, you can use command reroll firefight ploy for 0 CP if the attack or defense dice was rolled. For a friendly Battleclade operative that contests an objective marker, one of your mission markers. That's not bad. Yeah, you just sit a bunch of people on an objective and then do this. And you just get a ton of friggin' 0 CP. Friggin' rerolls. That's crazy. Whenever an attack dice inflicts damage of 3 or more, they get a 5-up feel no pain. Nice. Attack dice. That's everything. Normal and crit. Cool. Whenever determining control of that marker, treat the total APL stat of friendly Battleclade operatives that contested as 1 higher. No, this isn't a change to APL. Ooh, this is what like that rid of claim. Like some units have this built in. Like this is the icon bearer basically, but icon bearer is only 1, which means you can only really go one place with the icon bearer to do this. But this is your team. Like your team just gets this. That's crazy. These guys are going to be able to sit on points and hold. Use the firefight ploy when you would activate a friendly Battleclade. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're mostly ranged. We'll take a look at their stats in a second. So it's not going to be great into me, but remove 1 rules, effect stat change your opponent has applied to it. Oh, whoa. Is this the only way in the game right now to remove poison? Use the firefight ploy when you would activate a friendly Battleclade operative. Remove 1 rule effect or stat change. This is the only way to drop poison in the game outside of dying and resurrecting as a Necron. Then activate it. This ploy cannot allow it to regain lost wounds. And I guess this would happen before the poison. There's timing though. Oh, Deathwatch has anti-poison? I've not played into Deathwatch or looked at Deathwatch yet. God. Thank God this tournament doesn't have Deathwatch and friggin' Canoptic. That would feel so bad. I think the guy who was thinking of playing Canoptics is the guy who's playing Goremongers against me. Thank God we didn't. If he played Canoptic into me, oh, like, no, oh, it would suck so much. I'd hate it. So damage happens before healing, which I actually don't like. I don't like that they did that because I liked the idea of your initiative roll mattering more, because initiative used to let you pick sequence, and since damage and healing for some things like what is it, the Crute meat function, since you could have Crute meat and poison at the same time, and if you had initiative you could be like, I'm gonna use the heal, but then your opponent, if he had initiative, could be like, poison first, buddy. Like, I liked that better, but for them to just single it out as like, oh, it's always first. It's always damage before heals, but is it damage before wipe as well? I mean, I imagine so. Then activate it. The ploy cannot allow it to regain lost wounds, ignore the effect of being injured, remove mission pack rules, or remove 1 APL that you've applied. Okay. Yeah, the whatever that, the photon or whatever, the shard. The operative doesn't require a marker to be within its control range to perform a mission action. This usually require what? Uses fire ability during a friendly tech priest operative activation. Once during the application, you can use one of the following rules. Operative doesn't require a marker to be within its control range. This takes precedence over act. Instead, the marker must be within 4 of it, and no enemy operatives can contest the marker. However, you can ignore enemy operatives within control range of other friendly battle-clad operatives when determining this. That operative doesn't require a hatchway access point to be open in its control. So it just gives it a 4-inch interact. Okay. Use this firefight ploy when an operative is shooting a friendly battle-clad tech priest operative at the start of the attack step until the end of the sequence. Ignore pierce. Man, well, I mean, I get it for their armor, but this used to be the Thousand Suns thing. Thousand Suns were like, what's that? You got piercing? Oh, I miss it. They were so strong. That's why I didn't play them. Even though I wanted to, I didn't play them. 2+ saves. Ignore piercing. Come on. Come on. Who thought that was a good idea? Show yourself. Use this firefight ploy when a friendly battleclad tech priest operative is selecting as a valid target to shoot action or to fight against during the fight action. Select one friendly battleclad servitor operative visible to within 3 of the first fight. Oh my god, dude. The flow chart of this. So if I choose the tech priest as valid for shooter fight. Okay, so this is get down, Mr. President, right? Select one other friendly servitor. First friendly operative to become a valid target or be fought against is appropriate instead, even if it would be normal valid. If it's the fight action, treat the servitor operative as being within the fighting operatives. Yeah, it's just get down, Mr. President. After revealing the equipment option, roll 1d3 as a strategic gambit, and the first turning point, a number of friendly battle-clad operatives. Oh, this is my thing. It's even called my thing. It's the same name. You bastards. Friendly battle-clad operatives, which I'm cool with. Honestly, doing, even if it's not like lore friendly, this being called Covert Guises, which is the same thing I have, and I think the same thing that the Brood Brothers has, it does make it a lot easier. Electromantic. Ooh. Friendly battleclad operatives' melee weapons have shock weapon rules. Whenever a friendly battleclad operative is retaliating, its melee weapon must also have severe. That's not bad. This will probably be used on me, guaranteed. In the second turning point, you can swap the locations of any number of friendly battleclad servitor operatives with each other. Oh my god. Excluding guns. Okay. I mean, it doesn't really matter. This is big brain, but 9 times out of 10 when I'm placing stuff on the field, I don't. Oh, second turning point. Oh. Could swap the locations. Oh, that's actually crazy. I thought it was turn 1. It's second turning point. That's nuts. There is limits, and that's fine. You cannot swap any operatives that have done any of the... Okay, so there's a lot of limits. Used any of the weapons, performed any actions on their data card specifically. Use them. Okay. Not the worst. Equipment, roll 1d3, number of times during the battle, equal to results. Whenever you transfer power, you can use this roll if you do. Oh, nice. It can't perform shoot or fight, though. Okay. So, yeah, this is just, you know, getting someone to counteract, open a door, or do something else. They're definitely an interesting team. They're kind of close to what I thought they would be like. Because I assumed it was sort of that, like, puppeteer concept. It's the closest thing to, like, a necromancer team outside of, like, Hierotek. But even more so. Because Hierotek and Canoptic, they do feel like one person's powerful and then there's just a horde of little guys. But this genuinely has that feeling of, like, it being more of a connected web than anything else. Even with the pillars from Canoptic. Select one friendly battleclad operative with its operative control range. This is the healer. They're 8 wounds, a pop, 4+ save, not bad. 5-inch move, not so good. I can tell you about the stubby little legs on my frickin' salvagers. It's not fun. 5-inch move is not fun. I didn't see anything down here that increased their ability to climb over stuff either. And that's like the one benefit that the salvagers have, is that I can be like, oh, climbing, it's way easy. It's nothing, it's fine. But this, just being like, oh, we're 5 inches. Wait a second. Oh, okay. Once per turning point, operative. So, yeah, he's full medic. 3-4, bulk gun with crappy hit, but rending. That's not bad. Oh, that's melee. He doesn't even have a ranged. Okay. Okay. What are we looking at, though? 2-4? This is weird. Everything about this screams, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want for 3 turns on these objectives, and you're not going to be able to counter me. But if my gunners don't do well, I'm probably going to die. The servitor operative for this rule more than once per turning point for the purposes of comms device, universal equipment, the operative is distance. Oh, perform free. There it is. There's the movement, but you can only do it once. Yeah. Yeah, this feels very Hierotek-y. This is close to the Hierotek's and I think Canoptic's interstitial command right there. That's pretty good. Gun servitors. Let me take a look at these. Decent. Very decent. Just the right amount of attacks. Yeah, have to be careful for that. Pretty much any of it, really. You could pick either of these and I'd have to think about, you know, where I'm standing and what I'm doing. This is the serious one. Good damage. Knowing where these are is going to be important with my tormentors. It's got the breach. Then 1 inch of that marker. Treat parts of the terrain that are no more than 1 inch thick. Accessible terrain. This still doesn't work on Gallo Dark Walls, right? Like, they made sure to be very clear that unless it says Gallo Dark Walls, because Gallo Dark Walls are like outside of any rule. But then you have things like the Shade Runner that specifically goes, even against Gallo Dark Walls. I think there's like one other thing. Whenever a friendly Battleclade operative is shooting an enemy operative visible to this operative, the friendly operative's ranged weapons have saturate. That's not bad. Oh, it's nice because you don't even need the range. You just give people saturate as long as they're visible. Not even a valid target. This guy's really good. I like this. Lethal 5 shock. Visible to this operative until the end of the turning point. Seek light. Oh. Operative is shooting that enemy operative. You can use this effect if you do. That friendly operative's ranged weapons have the seek. That enemy operative cannot be obscured. Yep. I gotta be careful about this. Because this is saturate on top of seek light and anti-obscuring. Gotta be very careful about this guy. This is their second leader, right? No. Second leader's down here. This is the second leader. This is the primary leader. With its Dev 3. Lethal 5. It's not bad. 8-inch though. It's a pistol. Can immediately change this operative's order as a strategic gambit. It can immediately perform a free Omniscanner, fallback, place. Ooh. Or reposition action. And this operative isn't carrying... Wait. If it's... Mission action. If it's the fallback or reposition action and this operative isn't carrying a marker, it must end that move either within your drop zone and as close as possible to it, or with an objective marker or one of your mission markers within its control range. Okay, so some limits. Select one enemy operative visible to within 8 to gain one of your Omni Scanner tokens whenever a friendly Battleclade operative is shooting against, fighting against, retaliating against an enemy operative that has one of your Omni Scanner. The friendly operative's weapons have this. Oh, dude, it's all stacking. It's so webbed. It's just, you've got this guy making it so that there's saturate. You got this guy picking people for seek and anti-obscure. You got this guy handing out freaking ceaseless rules. Oh, it's so good. How many big gunners do you get? You got like the close range Bernie boys, but how many gunners do they let you take in this? Like 4? 3 or 4? What size of an army is this? Or team? Feels like a... Oh, there it is. Feels like a lot. Could... Oh, no. It's a small. Slightly better than average Aldari. Combat servitors. Your kill team can only include each operative on this list above once. Your kill team can only include up to 1 combat servitor operative with a melta gun. It can only include up to 3 combat servitor operatives with incending igniters. So combat servitors are the multi. These are the limit. You can take 2 gun servitors, but they have to be heavy arc and then heavy bolts. Not the worst. I thought this would be maybe like a 11 or 12 person team, not a 10 person team. This feels more manageable. Rekkas. This is going to be the struggle bus. I 100% believe this is going to be the struggle bus. I'm just going to get hit. Like, the blasts aren't bad because it's 1. I think they have the ability to upgrade to 2. I thought there was something that let them do blast 2. Select WOG, Destruction, Strap Ploy, 0/0. Once per turning point with a friendly Rekka. Can use this rule. If you do until the end of the action, you can ignore change the operative stats. It's not bad. Subtract 1 from the roof stat. Save stat. This includes Bomb Squig. Once per turning point when a friendly Rekka is performing a shoot, and you select Rocket, Heavy Rocket Launcher. You can use this rule. If you do, to the end of the turn, the boss loses the... Oh, it loses Blast for Pierce. Fire for shoot action with blast weapon until the end of the action. Add 1 inch. Yeah, there it is. Add 1 to blast. It has severe. Use Firefight Ploy when friendly Rekka crew, Breaker Boy, or Rekka boss knob during the activation operative. So double fight for specific people. Just a scratch, which, yep. Firefight Ploy after friendly Rekka operative. Perform a shoot or fight. Place one of your demolition markers within the target's control range. When a friendly Rekka crew operative, excluding bomb crew, is shooting against, fighting against, or retaliating against an operative within 3 of that marker, you can spend a Rekka point for free. Not bad. When you go engaged, you just get like a full team heal. That is crazy. Oh my god. Friendly Rekka crew operatives, ranged weapons have saturate. Whenever an operative is shooting a friendly Rekka crew, you can reroll defense. Yeah, you basically turn 2, go engage, and you just get tons of benefits. Rerolls, heals if everyone's in engage in turn 3. You just burn that, get tons of heals out there. Operative melee weapons have balanced weapon rule. So tanked up is you get an APL if you charge, shoot, or fight. You can't do it through guard. So you kind of limit them if you don't let them attack you, which that's decent. But I mean, you can get to a place where they could activate, do something on an objective, then charge you, and then be able to fight you if they want. No, yeah, stuns. I feel like on a universal level, stuns hurt a lot of people. There's only a few teams right now that genuinely have like pure anti-stun. But like a lot of people have pointed out, like against most of the teams we're playing, Battle Clade, Void Scarred, Brood Brothers, Rekka Crew. So far, what we're looking at is even down here. I think, what is this? Yeah, like this is only from being injured, which isn't stun grenade. Like stun grenades suck into them. Stun grenades suck into me. Like I can't stop that. Goremongers have a way of getting around it. It's not great, but it's there. I think Felgors have a way around it. But the damage output on these guys, I need to be very keen on my trades is the problem. How many people are in this squad? It's like 6 or 7. This is like an elite orc squad. It's like 6 plus 2 squigs or something. Come on, PDF. You can do it. I believe. There we are. Yeah, 6 plus 2 squigs. Not the worst with 12 wounds. I do feel like I'm going to have to like sacrifice some torments to get people really low. "12 wounds, though, for a torment isn't the worst. Just a scratch will augment that pretty poorly, though. I think on average, most of the people have like melee 5-6, 4-5, right? No, 3-4. 3-4. They can get the extra AP. Oh, no, fallback doesn't give them AP. That's right. They have to fight if they want to do damage before falling back. Yeah, most of the melee damage, though, is nice enough. Like, this is devastating to me. I can't send anything less than a torment in on them. At least at first. And then maybe go in and finish them off with, like, a Blessed Blade or something. Like a Blessed Blade combo. They have the built-in Justice Scratch. The Demolisher. Normal damage, so he has the built-in Feel No Pain. Yeah. Only for... So normals and then crits. If he's in engage. Okay. Crusher, smash. Whenever an enemy operative is shooting this operative is fighting, your opponent cannot retain attack. Oh. Oh, okay. I don't. Well, okay, so I have rending, so this does counter my rending. But it's only 1 damage difference, which, it's up there. It's a good thing. Key thing, I think, Torment, D3 on charge. So you can hopefully get them down to 10. And then go from there. It's a rough army. It's only 6 guys, though. If I slow play, I might be able to kill enough of them by turn 3 that I'm not that scared. And then I every single time I look at one of these teams, I do think of plant device. Like, that's it. I look at this and I go, plant device. And that's it. Like, you send a cultist in if possible. Like, if they don't threaten the middle of the field right away, I could 2GA 2 cultists. I could have one go for their objective if they're not on it by turn 1, which would be crazy. And then just plant the device, and then second GA another cultist somewhere else to run over to that objective and plant a device. Like, it's not great for them. I'm really leaning into plant device mentally. I think close quarters might change my opinion, but ugh. So he would be potentially the 2 rockets and the choppa. I could see that. Although, okay, it depends on who this person is. There's not a lot of people local to me who do the thing where they have every unit possible. That way they could be like, oh, let me, into your army, I'll do Smash Hammer. Most likely the person did build it for the 2 rockets and the choppa. When playing into me, I probably would have gone Smash Hammer with Rocket Pistol. Just under the... Because, like, Chaos Cults can get to you. In, like, turn 2, they can be in your face. And it's crazy. So, like, you might as well have the most damage output possible, potentially. To try to, like, shrug them off. But orcs are really good in melee, so I'm going to have problems. I think my main goal is to just turn on my my -1 to hit aura and just go. How does this equipment work? Once per turning point. So it has to activate to ignore the alteration from... I don't even think that aura... Is that aura injury? Any changes to that operative stats from being injured. I don't think that aura... Is it? Worsen hit stats. It's not injury. It's not cumulative with being injured, but it's not injury. So I don't even think that really helps them there. They have to just fully ignore the stat change. Ah, the Felgor. I did look a lot into the Felgor for the new stuff. The Felgor are going to be obnoxious. Between the Flux Spray and the... Where is he? Like all of them, really. The Flux Spray, the Toxhorn, the Vandal. Yeah, the Vandal. Just the fact that they can put so many mortals on the board before even swinging at me. Like, my biggest fear is if I don't pay attention to where the Flux Spray is, and the Flux Spray like gets into a really good spot to reposition past like 4 or 5 of my units. Like, D3 plus 1 is not a small amount of damage into a 7 health cultist. It's not. Like, capping out at 4 damage puts me into injury. I know they changed, they recentered their, like, the berserk state that they get in. It's still, what is it? It's like a crit in shooting, and then like 2 hits in melee or a crit. Yeah, incapacitated. They get the mark. If it has a conceal order, it goes to engage. It cannot have a conceal order. It's injured. Yeah, sure. It cannot which my stuff isn't cumulative with injury, so it cannot perform the pickup mark. Yeah, okay, for the purpose. And then I think it drops whatever. Determining control markers treat AP. I don't think it drops it. It'll drop it when it dies, but it doesn't. If it doesn't say drop, I don't think you actually drop. Frenzy tokens incapacitated when the following happens. Its activation or counteraction ends. An enemy operative is fighting against, retaliating against it. Opponent strikes with a crit. Fight or retaliating against it. Opponent strikes for the 2nd time with a normal. Note that can be strikes from 2 different fight actions. An enemy operative is shooting it with a critical, so you have to crit it from range, which sucks for me. Unless we're in close quarters and I have grenades. The battle ends. Resolve any victory conditions that resolve at the end of the battle. Opponent treats Felgor operative as being incapacitated. When it gains one of your frenzy tokens for the purpose of scoring VPs and faction rules require it to be incapacitated. If it counts as being incapacitated, I think that means it has to drop from counting, maybe? Or is it just for scoring VPs? Because when you're incapacitated, you have to drop your tokens. So if it's counting it, your opponent treats a Felgor as being incapacitated when it gains one of your frenzy tokens. Oh, it's just for the purpose of VP and faction rules. Okay. It still doesn't say you have to drop the token. The operative's fighting or retaliating as a conceal order goes to engage. It's not. Yeah, so it's not. So you're still carrying. You cannot perform the pickup or unique actions. This makes me sad. I wish you could still perform unique actions or mission actions for the purpose of determining control. APL is 1 less, or stat is 1. Takes precedence over stat change. It's injured. Yeah, so you still, if you picked up a marker, you still have it till you die. So in theory, there's a way for you to completely screw someone over by like holding on to a big objective, and then literally at the end of the last round with the guy who's in frenzy, just put it too far away from your enemy to get it. Ugh, Felgor are cool. They're so cool. I probably would have played Felgor. But I don't know. I did really want to play Cultists. Cultists just appeal to me. It's the only team that really feels like a ramp team. There's other teams I think that like they get stuff. Like I want to say Hand of the Archon. They have their pain tokens. And I know they have a lot of like weird different things. Like Torment Grenades I got to be careful of because this is the poison test. Gains one of your poison tokens. Yeah, these guys suck. Now, these used to be the worst. These used to be the actual worst because you didn't need line of sight. It was literally just like put a token down 6 inches away from you. Everything within X amount of stuff around you, around that token, gets poisoned and is considered injured for the rest of the game. That was horrifying. What's up, dude? Like salvagers, yeah. Salvagers get their the freaking grudge tokens. But that's kind of ramp, but not really. Like it's like a pseudo ramp versus like actually fully changing your unit, your abilities, your stats, your enhance. Like it's so much more than just, oh, I can convert to a crit. That's cool. Converting to crit, always cool. But getting to a place of being like, I could also, and it's like +1 to move, 2 inches for all vertical climb. Like there's so much. There's so much. Not perform this action while within control range. Because these guys are kind of ramp too. They get pain tokens. But like it's such a minor ramp versus Chaos Cults. Chaos Cults is literally like the ultimate in ramp technology. It's cool that they're season 3. I was so happy to see that they are considered season 3 and not season 2, so they'll be around for a little bit. After a friendly Hand of the Archon, operative performs an action, it gains your pain token. Enemy operative is injured during that action but was not incapacitated. Or an enemy operative is incapacitated. And if it's 12 wounds, you get multi-tokens. What can they do? You can add an APL. Nice. During operative's activation, counteraction before it performs. Operative regains, so you can heal. Neat. Not use more than 1 per activation or counteraction. Except stimulated senses, which is a reroll. The operative can immediately perform a free dash. This was the big thing, because it was literally... It was... Corsairs had free dash built in. These guys have to actually do damage to things in order to get their free dash. This screwed my friend over so much when he first started playing Hand of the Archon. He would try to kill something of mine, and he would be in like the worst position ever, entirely hoping to perform the free dash. And then he just wouldn't be able to do it. And he was like, great. I'm always excited for victory as well, dude. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but I'm excited for it. If I do get it and the money comes together for it, I don't know. I don't know what I do. Part of me wants to buy the Dexessa Cinecessa box that the store we're going to has, because I already did Dexessa. If I do Cinecessa, that means I have both Emperor's Children Demon Princes with wings as like Dexessa and Cinecessa. And then on top of that, I would have Sigvald with the wings that I put on him. It would look really cool for my Emperor's Children. So it's like one thing I'm thinking of doing. The other thing, because it's like $100, maybe I just buy a box, right? Like, I mean, I'm playing Kill Team. $100 plus like, what, 10, 15, 20 extra? That's the new box coming out. That would be... Stealth Suits and Space Wolves, although the store that I'm at is probably all sold out on the pre-orders at this point, or by the time I get there rather, because pre-orders are Saturday and I'll be there Sunday, I think. Faction roll rifles. Whenever Hand of the Archon operative shooting with a splinter rifle, charge fallback. Ooh, this is the cool one because it just increases their ability to hit. I liked Hand of the Archon. I am sad that there's not enough Hand of the Archon players. Like, I know they're so close to Corsairs, but, like, Corsairs are about to go away. I guess, technically, if the Corsairs go away, there's enough crossover here that you could be like, I'm playing Hand of the Archon as my Corsairs. Check out my... Where is it? Check out my Kurnathi. Like, check out my... Check out my Hunter, wherever the hell he is. No, he's not the agent. Is he? No, he's not the agent. There's your... Not the Way Seeker. No, I think it's the Way... No. The Healer. It's whatever the Healer one is. Yeah, here's your Hunter with the bird. Like, it's all there. Yeah, always go maximum Blastmasters. There's no reason not to. There's so much variable potential out of the Blastmasters. Like, there's times when you're playing the game where you would think, oh, I need to use the high strength Blastmasters, where you look at it and you're like, oh, wait. And then the math hits you of like, I just need to do 2 damage. I might as well just fire whatever, like the 12 shots at like decent AP with damage. Like, it's pretty good. They're just good in general. There's no reason not to, honestly. Yep. 2 squads Noise Marines is usually good. A lot of people point to 3, but 2's perfectly fine. I think Linneman's coterie list is usually 2 with, I think he does take their leaders that give them sustain 1. Because Coterie's good for it. Coterie gets like the rerolls and all that. Like it's good. What else are we playing? Okay, so Tomb World. Tomb World is just upgraded Gallowdark, right? And it has terrain in it. Like that's the part about Tomb World I really like. Operate hatch is still the same. This is what gets me. Are breach points part of competitive play now? Or is this just the information that's there for like the mini modes? Let me see. It's Killzone Gallo. Ooh, wait, are they actually? Are breach points actually here? A2. Is A2 the breach point wall? Because it's 2 action points to go through the wall. Which, not great for my team. But yeah, 2 squads Noise Marines is usually a good start. It's that, 2 small squads Tormentors, 2 small squads Infra. Like I can belt off the actual like competitive list. It's like 2 Demon Princes with wings, 2 Exultants, Spear Whips, 2 Infractor squads fully kitted with their icons and all that. 2 Tormentor squads full kitted because why not give them a Melta Plasma? It's always the mini versions. 2 squads Noise Marines. I think. Yeah, I'm 100% sure Lenneman does the 2 leaders for the Noise Marines. And then I want to say what he leans into is like Rhinos. I think he uses Lucius as a lone op. It's an expensive lone op, but he says he does really well with it. And yeah, Lucius on his own, I almost one-tapped a Defiler with Lucius. Like, he spikes sometimes, man. He is out there. Alright, let me take a look. That's the Gallowdark key. Gallowdark key. Is there no Tomb World key in here? Why do I have crit up? My deck of cards is all over the place now. What happened? How did this happen? Vulcus. Yeah, here we are. Breach walls, A2? No. A1 is breach wall. And B2 is breach wall. Okay, so there are breach walls. So they decided to do the breach walls, which that was a Gallowdark upgrade. You had to buy the kit that came with, I think, the Hand of the Archon. I think it was the Hand of the Archon box that had the breachable Gallowdark walls. And then they have in-game terrain, which, I mean, everybody's kind of wanted that. Gallowdark feels crappy to play on because they don't have this. It's all light. Teleport pads. Equipment terrain features cannot be placed within 2. Whenever an operative base is touching a teleport pad, if another operative is on that teleport pad, those operatives are treated as... So you can... I could put a Tormentor on this, and then somebody could go to the other one and then fight me. Started the second turning point onward, whatever friendly operatives on teleport pad. The charge, fallback, or reposition action. You can teleport it. If you do, don't move it. Instead, remove it from the kill zone and set it back up on the other teleport pad. It must still fulfill all other requirements of the action. Otherwise, it cannot teleport. If it's the charge action, the operative must finish the action within control range of an enemy operative. If another operative is on the other teleport pad, when an operative teleports, swap them around. If it's an enemy operative, its controlling player sets it up. So, if you're charging someone using the teleport pad, the idea is that they're over here, and then you just appear here, and that's your charge, I guess? Okay. This is gonna be wild. I have the rule book because you actually have to look at the rule book for Beta Decima since it's not like fully out there. So tomorrow begins the day of my 2v2 at my friend's house for 40K. We'll be playing through Saturday, at least until later in the day when I come home. Do the podcast on the other channel for gaming stuff. And then, yeah, Sunday morning, tournament. I'm going to be so burned out, man. So gantry floors are accessible on Vantage. Gantry pillars are heavy. Gantry terrain features 3 sizes, long, medium, short. Roof is accessible, Vantage. Inner ledge of the roof is exposed. Ignore slight difference in height between the outer and inner. Battlements on the roof are light. All their parts are heavy. No part of an operative's base can be touching the hazardous. Restricted targeting. When selecting a valid target for an operative on kill zone floor, an intended target. The kill zone floor is not a valid target if 4 inches of the hazardous area is between. That way you can do through corners potentially. Same is also true in reverse. However, in both cases, ignore the footprint of gantry terrain. Features the operative and intended target is on there in. Both cases use targeting lines to determine if hazardous areas in the footprint. So the entirety of the footprint of gantries are considered like a whole heavy square. A gantry's footprint is the gantry itself plus the area underneath it. This is the one where equipment can be set up on Vantage. It overrides. Gantry floors are accessible Vantage. Gantry pillars are heavy. Gantry terrain features come in 3 sizes. Gantry floors are touching each other. They are treated as the same terrain. Oh, dude. Canoptic would be so strong in Gallo with like the multi stuff. Because the Geomancer has to target terrain. I guess it has to be visible. And if the hazardous doesn't... Does the hazardous just not make it visible at all? Oh, no. You can... So you only care about targeting operatives with the hazardous. Oh, dude. My shit's gonna be strong in beta. Because I'm not... My Psyker isn't targeting people. He's targeting points on terrain. When selecting a valid target for an operative on Vantage terrain, an intended target is kills on floor. Same. Yeah, vision is still just general vision. So I can still just put the little like mortal wounds token anywhere, right? Like this doesn't say anything about that. When selecting valid targets for operatives. Yeah. A gantry's footprint is footprint of a gantry is between operative A and B, therefore. So, okay. So the whole footprint is considered for negation of vision. Dude, Beta Decima is still weird as hell. It's so weird. I gotta get moving. I gotta go pick someone up from work. I feel a lot more, I guess, prepared. Again, we only played 1 game so far as Chaos Cults. It's good to see the general ideas, the missions, all that stuff. I am leaning a little bit into the play of trying to make every objective marker on the field in turn 2 marked with a plant device. That way it's just planted on as a device because it doesn't say it goes away. And I mean, there's nothing really like here. Yeah, proved ops, card packs. Recon, plant beacons. This is old. Stake claim after the first for victory. Energy cells victory is after the first. Security, the martyrs. You can't double martyr. Yeah. So turn 2, I should be able to plant beacons on all 3 objectives, most likely, because I'll have the ability to just dump 4 APL on every objective and have at least one of them plant the beacon. Like, it's gonna be very hard for someone to counter. They have to basically go in thinking of that, which probably won't happen. Maybe, we'll see. It was an interesting group the first time. I know they play a lot outside and of like just the tournaments. So hopefully a lot of them have gotten a lot better. I have not been able to play too many games since. I think I've only played like 1 kill team game. But yeah, I gotta get moving. Good hanging out, good talks, good overviews, good think tanks. Always fun. Until next time, guys. We'll probably get back on painting my Raptors. Later.